that this
Blog
cause is
Talk
going to
Radio.
Absolutely. This was our first benefit. It was a very hot day, but we're hoping to do another in the fall and at least 2 to 3 per year.
Good stuff, good stuff. Matter of fact, Jan from the Eatery, if you're in Margate, you can stop at Jan's place. It's the Eatery. What is the exact address here?
1043 North State Road 7, Margate, the corner of Margate Boulevard and State Road 7. Good home cooking.
She's the bomb. I just ate some of her chicken, and I'm getting fat over here. So we want to thank again Jan and the Eatery, and of course the Go Green for the Cause folks that put all of this together and made it possible. I also want to take this time to talk with you about one more thing, and that is, you see, as far as treatments are concerned, the different people that are here today and different treatments that are out there, and you're saying that the insurance won't cover them, and you don't have that insurance aspect of it. Some people go into debt $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. They lose everything this way, don't they?
Yes, they do. We went through it with my husband himself. He had quadruple bypass and a kidney transplant, and it almost bankrupted us just alone there. And then we came home for him to recover, and then we were blessed with Joshua with all his disabilities. So very hard on a family with, even when you do struggle to pay insurance, there's still so much that's not paid for.
Well, you know something, again, Rockers in Recovery, you can check us out at rockersinrecovery.com, and I'll have some information up there for you to go to, and you can go to gogreenforthecause.org. It's gogreenforthecause.org. And please make sure that you do some, donations. This is a very, very important part of everybody's life. If you don't have a child that is sickly, you're blessed. You're blessed. The people that don't have that option and they have a son or a daughter that is not healthy, could you imagine the feeling that's behind that? It's just amazing. It's unbelievable. I can't even think about it as far as my kids are concerned. I'm blessed. But if you're out there today and you understand that feeling and you can understand empathy, I want you to go to gogreenforthecause.org and make that donation. Jan, thank you for all your hard work on this thing.
Thank you, John Hollis and Rockers in Recovery. You always come through for us, and you're a great support system, and we hope everyone supports you. It's your 15-step rocking fest in the Keys.
Yeah, the 12-step music. 12-step music.
Two extra steps.
That's right.
Sorry.
And that's right. You don't want to deal with the 13th, but we'll talk about that later.
Thank you.
Silence calms the mind and rejuvenates the body. God Pillow has been inspiring daily devotions for over 11 years. God Pillows are custom made with love and intention. We encourage you to become part of our community. Come visit God Pillow on the World Wide Web at godpillow.com.
Are you ready to explode your business? Then you are ready to take advantage of the massive marketing power of the Holistic Lifestyles Radio Network. Advertise your business, product, or service with one of the most powerful multimedia platforms on the planet. With more than 300,000 online listeners, 30 social media outlets, and a booming 15 hours of live programming on South Florida's 50,000-watt mega giant, AM 1470 WNN. Your business will be exposed to hundreds of thousands of active, progressive consumers hungry for your products and services. You'll be featured on blogs, live streams, social media, at live events, and on hundreds of archived podcasts, including Rockers in Recovery, the East Coast music scene, Defending Your Money, and dozens more. Plus, prime-time national exposure during major festivals from Las Vegas to Boston and the Florida Keys. Get ready to take your business to the next level and jumpstart your branding strategy. Advertise your events, products, and services on the Holistic Lifestyles Radio Network. Call now for special discounted packages, 877-799-8773. That's 877-799-8773. Or visit holisticlifestylesradio.com. Let me tell you about the Sound Pillow. Sound Pillow helps many people in early addiction recovery who suffer from stress, anxiety, fear, and long sleepless nights to get a comfortable night's sleep by providing a calming and soothing feeling for the mind's everyday distractions. Sound Pillow allows the mind to shut down, the body to relax, and the spirit to heal. go online to soundpillow.com. That's soundpillow.com. And while you're there, check out the many endorsements from people and addiction treatment centers using the Sound Pillow. Don't lose another night's sleep. Call toll-free today, 877-846-6488. That's 877-846-6488. And let the healing begin. Go online to soundpillow.com. That's www.soundpillow.com.
In the fast-paced world we live in, it's hard to find a company that has an impeccable reputation based on professional skill and knowledge, coupled with a strong work ethic, honesty, and integrity. Welcome to the world of Canatelli Builders Incorporated. Specialists in custom residential and commercial construction for 3 generations, CBI finishes the job as agreed and on time. Browse our website at www.canatellibuilders.com, read the testimonials, then call us at 954-977-2775 and let us add your name to our list of satisfied customers. While at the site, be sure to follow the link for complete information about Chinese drywall and what it may mean to you. Integrity, ethics, honesty, knowledge, performance, service, experience, Canatelli Builders. 954-277-2775. Canatelli Builders, the official contractor for the Florida Panthers.
All right. You know something? I wanted to say something real quick. I was doing a show last week. I'm John with Rockers in Recovery on 1470 AM. And last week we were doing a show, and I came to some of the bands, and I said, hey, listen, they're doing this thing next week. And I got to tell you that just about every band, with the exception of the super group that came out of New York, and, of course, the guys from Tampa from Throne Alive all said yes to come here. Throne Alive, of course, is out of Tampa. We wish that they could have been here today, and they wanted to be here. They just couldn't make it. But the Keep Coming Back band, Chris Waddell, I've known Chris for about 15 years. Chris is going to be playing along with the Keep Coming Back band. Ed, Tony, and Daniel are going to be playing down at the 12-Step Music Fest November 3rd through the 6th. And we are going to be hanging out down there. It's a 4-day festival. We ask you to come down, go to 12stepmusicfest.com and check that out. Also, if you can, hang out for the day. Let me tell you something, man. Children in need, there's a lot of things that are going on today in the world. I mean, there's destruction going on, tornadoes, there's all kinds of stuff. But sometimes we overmiss the fact that the little ones that need the support the most don't get it. So let's try to dig deep today and help people that can help their children that might not necessarily get it. And I really want to thank everybody for showing up. I want to thank Laura Betts from Hyperbaric Oxygen Therapy for being here. She deals a lot with children and children therapy through oxygen. Check her out over there. You guys ready?
That one was Rejuvenate.
Rejuvenate at the 12-Step Music Fest.
That is all good.
I think we have somebody that's going. Nice. I love it. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Without further ado, the Keep Coming Back band.
Let's go! 1, 2, 3, 4.
Ever since the days of old, men have searched for wealth untold. They sought silver and for gold, and they leave the empty hole. Way down south in the Everglades, the backwater flows and the sawgrass sways. The eagles fly, the otters play down in the land of the Seminole. Blow, blow, Seminole wind, blowing like it's never gonna blow again. Coming to you like a long lost friend, but I know who you are. Blow on the Okeechobee, all the way up to Micanopy. Blow across the home of the Seminoles, the alligators and the guards. Progress came and took its toll in the name of flood control. They made a plan to drain the land. Now the glades are running dry. Last time I walked in the swamp, I sat upon a cypress stump. I listened close and I heard the ghost of Osceola crying. Blow, blow, Seminole wind, blowing like you're never gonna blow again. Coming to you like a long lost friend, but I know who you are. Blow, blow from the Okeechobee, all the way up to Micanopy. Blow across the home of the Seminoles, the alligators and the guards. Ever since the days of old, men have searched for wealth untold. Seek for silver and for gold, and to leave the empty hole. Way down south in the Everglades, backwater flows and the sawgrass sways. The eagles fly, the otters play down in the land of the Seminoles. Blow, blow, Seminole wind, blowing like you're never gonna blow again. Calling to you like a long lost friend, but I know who you are. Blow, blow from the Okeechobee, all the way up to Micanopy. Blow across the home of the Seminoles, the alligators and the guards. I said blow, blow, Seminole wind, blowing like you're never gonna blow again. Calling to you like a long lost friend, but I know who you are. Blow, blow from the Okeechobee, all the way up to Micanopy. Blow across the home of the Seminoles, the alligators and the guards.
Thank you. A little bit of effects out of his vocals in the monitor, and because they're just feeding back and forth a little bit, and just my monitor up just a little bit.
Thanks, everybody. We'll keep coming back. Do a little song about getting what you want. No, that's not what you want. You just need what you get. No, that's not it either. Listen to the words. A glass of wine in her hand, and I knew she was going to meet a connection. Her feet was a footloose man. Well, you can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. Can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you just might find, it works. So went down to tell the drugs, get your prescription filled. I was standing in line with Mr. Jimmy, and man, was he looking pretty ill. He decided to have a soda. My favorite was cherry red. So I sung my song, Mr. Jimmy, and he said one thing to me, and that was it. I said, you can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you just might find, well, you just might find, get what you need. When I saw her today, the reception,
was a bleeding man. She was practiced at the art of deception. Well, I could tell by her a blood-stained hand. Said you can't always get what you want. Can't always get what you want. Can't always get what you want. But if you try, you just might find, you get what you need. Well, you get what you need. And you get what you need. You get what you need.
Stay tuned for an announcement.
Hello, everybody. If you are parked by the Japanese restaurant, Chinese restaurant, the Express over here, your car will get towed. So please move it to across the street. The only cars up front are for entertainers. Everyone else must park across the street. And here we go to Keep Coming Back. Well, it's gone now. Well, it's gone away. You know you done me wrong. You'll be sorry someday. Free now. Free now from your spell. I'm so free now. Free now from your spell. Now that it's all over, all I can do is wish you well. Gone for good now. Lily's gone. Lily's gone for good.
honestly respect you, baby, just like you know a good man should. The thrill is gone. The thrill has gone away. The thrill is gone. The thrill is gone away. You know you done me wrong. You'll be sorry someday. Free now from your spell. I'm so free now from your spell. Now that it's all over, all I can do is wish you well. Now that it's all over, all I can do is wish you well. Thanks, y'all. Some way out of here, the joker to the thief. Too much confusion, can't get no relief. Businessman, they take my wine, no man take my earth. No love along the line, what is really worth? No reason to get excited, even kind of spoke. There are many here among us. You this life is a joke. You and I, we've been through that, and this is not our fate. Let all start talking. I was getting late. All along the watchtower, pictures kept the view. All the women came in with their first service too. Last night in the distance now, what can I see the crowd? Two riders were approaching and brought in guns to house.
Right. And, of course, we are here with Laura Betts and the Go Green for the Cause here in Margate. And, you know, it's an amazing thing. Go Green for the Cause put this together with Jan from the Eatery. And they put it together to be able to help children with disabilities. Laura Betts has been working with hyperbaric oxygen therapy for 20 years?
Yes, and over 20, coming up on 25 now.
Over 20 years, and here's the amazing part, folks. Over 20 years she's been working on this. She has literally helped thousands of children. And autism is helped by oxygen therapy. There's so many different things that are helped with oxygen therapy. What are some of the programs that can be used through oxygen therapy to help different modalities?
There are so many ways to apply hyperbaric oxygen therapy. It heals the brain and reduces swelling better than almost anything else without side effects. So when you're treating a child, one of the biggest issues is we want to help them, but we don't want the modality that we're using to cause further harm. So here is a application that only has potential benefits with almost no risk, and when administered properly by somebody that knows what they're doing, no risk.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up because, I mean, it's like anything else. The oxygen therapy craze has really exploded. Yeah. The nation, the oxygen therapy nation has exploded, so to speak. And there's so much misinformation out there. There are so many people that are out there saying, oh, you can do this with it, you can do that with it, and you really don't know. What is a website that they can go to find out real true information from somebody that has been not only registered to be able to give courses, but most importantly, that's been doing this for 20-plus years?
Come on over to hyperbaricsrx.com. There is a tremendous amount of information. There is informative blogs. There are articles. There is published research, and it's just a great general start. It even talks about the basics of what's hyperbaric. So you can, once you get a little bit, you can say, wow, every condition, every ailment, every sickness, as well as general health and wellness, has some application for hyperbaric oxygen therapy. It will blow your mind once you get how it helps our body.
Good stuff, good stuff. And, of course, we are hanging out. We're getting ready to go, but we're getting ready to play this show tonight right on rockersandrecovery.com. We got the Keep Coming Back band. That was a big part of this. We got Johnny B and the Road Dogs that's coming up. We have the Full Range Band and many other bands that, of course, the Go Green for the Cause people had set up along with Jan from the Eatery. And glad that Rockers in Recovery was able to stop by, do a few interviews, and hang out, listen to some tunes. And where are you going next?
Rockers in Recovery, of course. Going to stop by that radio station.
I love it. So let me. The next stop is the Keys, right? 12-Step Music Fest.
12-Step Music Fest. How could I forget? I'm just so excited about it. Yeah.
So excited she forgot.
Well, I mean, I have so much going on. It's just part of my day, getting ready for the 12-Step Music Fest. I don't even think about it.
Nice. 12-Step Music Fest. You can go to rockersinrecovery.com, 12stepmusicfest.com, and Hyperbaric RX, right?
Absolutely. Hyperbarics RX.
Hyperbaricsrx.com. Check out Laura Betts, and I bet you'll like what she has. We'll be back right after this message.
What is that?
All right, this is John Hollis with Rockers in Recovery. Of course, we are hanging out in Margate today. Just got done watching Keep Coming Back Band play another live set. Great live set. And, of course, if you know Rockers in Recovery, we've been doing concerts and concert series, and Keep Coming Back Band has been in the mix on every one of them and will be right up to the Florida Keys, and that's November 3rd through the 6th for the 12-Step Music Fest. We're looking forward to, of course, being at the 12-Step Music Fest. We got Ricky Byrd, we got Richie Supa, we got Kazim Sultan, Christine Ohlman from the Saturday Night Live Band. We got a lot of other folks coming down. And most importantly, the Keep Coming Back Band will be playing through the weekend. So we're looking forward to having them there. We got Chris Waddell and Ed and Tony with us. And, of course, Tony, right? Ron. Okay. And Ron is, let me ask you a question. Isn't Ron, like, different from the last drummer I seen with you guys?
He absolutely is. Much better, man. You know, when we got him on the kit, it's going to be all good. And we got his son with backup, and that's Ryder John. He's on playing the second kit there. And, you know, I just got to say, it's a pleasure working with a professional like John, like you, John. You know, we know when we do an event for you that it's going to be run right, and it's going to be a really good time, and he always takes care of the musicians, and he gets the best acts in the country. I mean, it's a pleasure working with the people that he works with, and it's always a great time to get together and do something clean and sober, and with that, I will leave you with Ed Walsh.
Yeah, you know, I just wanted to invite everybody. John already didn't do it here for 12-Step Music Festival, you know. First weekend in November, we're going to be down in the Florida Keys. We're going to be playing some music for, 1,000 different clean alcoholics and addicts get-togethers. It'll be the 4th year running for that fest, and it's a great time. It's a great time. You can bring the whole family, bring the kids, do a little snorkeling, camping under the stars, listen to some great music. Everybody's in a great mood. No beer bottles are getting thrown around, you know. Funny thing, me and Chris got there a couple years ago. We got there at like midnight on Wednesday night, the night before. And it's a music festival. People are going to be up, partying loud. It's quiet. It was like a church.
It was like after 11, everybody went to bed.
Yeah, they stayed up late Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
I had a couple of lingers that were still, you know, down in the coffee, but, you know, at least they weren't rocked beyond belief, and, you know, the cops weren't there harassing everybody. It was like a really good time, you know.
Everything we did is original.
Yeah.
Somebody else. It was original. Originally, it was original. There's only so many chords notes anyway.
Last Dance with Mary Jane, we played this.
Where is it? Last Dance.
I know.
She grew up in an Indiana town, had a good-looking mama that never was around. She grew up right with them Indiana boys on an Indiana night. She moved down here at the age of 18, drove the boys the same as small than we've seen. We were introduced. We both started doing, said I like to stay here. I gotta keep moving on. Keep moving on. Last Dance with Mary Jane. One more time to kill the pain. I feel summer creeping minute. I'm tired of this town again. Well, I don't know, but I've been told you never go tired and you never go old. Tired of being uptight, being down, tired of screwing up, tired of this town. Oh my, oh hell yeah, honey, put on that party dress. Buy me a drink, sing me a song, take me as I am, 'cause I can't stay long. Last dance with Mary Jane, one more time to kill the pain. I feel summer creeping in, I'm tired of this town again. There's pigeons down in Market Square. She's standing in her underwear, looking out from a hotel room. Knock phone will be coming on soon. Oh my, oh hell yes, gonna put on my party dress. It was street clothes to walk when I woke up alone, so I hit the left number. I walked to the roads and last dance with Mary Jane. One more time to kill the pain. I feel summer creeping in, tired of this town again.
Well, you know, they got the two stages at the 12-Step Music Fest. We're going to have the main stage and the main performing artists, and then we have the coffee house that we have, you know, people come in and they play solo stuff. And it was funny when I talked to Chasm Sultan from Todd Rundgren when he was in town last week and he played the show. I said, Chasm, we're doing this coffee house. He goes, can you get me in a coffee house? So Chasm Sultan's actually going to be playing in a coffee house.
Which band's he from again?
Todd Rundgren and Meatloaf, Celine Dion, Mick Jagger. He's played with just about everybody, man. It was huge to have him in town last week. But he's going to be down there, and he's going to be playing in the coffee house. And I know you guys are playing the coffee house, too, but you're also playing the main stage this year.
Stage as well, because we're going to have the full band down there, you know, and, you know, it's going to be good. You know, we're going to play a lot of everybody's favorites. We're going to have Ron Licata on drums down there, and his son, hopefully, will be playing backup drums with us as well.
And not only that, we'll be playing in the campground itself. So part of the fun of the music festival is hanging out in the campsites, you know, pulling out the acoustic guitars, just meeting people you've never met before and playing. You know, I had a good time doing that last year. So.
And for those of you that didn't catch, you know, John's last Rockers in Recovery, it was off the chain. The food was amazing. The crowd was booming. You know, the bands were right on time, and you know, it was a really good time.
You know, I want to take the time to thank Miami Subs and Grill right now, because Miami Subs and Grill donated 500 meals.
Wow.
For that particular day. There was enough food to feed 2,500 people. We started at 1 o'clock. We started at 1 o'clock, and the food was gone by 5, and it was just an amazing.
The whole neighborhood that day, John. You know, it was like really good. Everybody from just in the area, you know, had a chance to get a free meal. You know, God knows when they had a meal last. So.
Hey, especially in that neighborhood, you're absolutely right. But you know something? One of the things that the Rockers in Recovery thing has been all about has been making sure that, you know, we're able to carry a message to the community and let the community know that, hey, listen, change is possible. You don't have to die in your own puke and your own blood. You know what I mean? You don't have to die that way. The good news is that there is a solution, and keep coming back as part of that solution.
Take this gun off me. Can't shoot them anymore. Getting dark to dark. Feel like I'm knocking on heaven's door. 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 Take these guns off of me. I can't shoot them anymore. A long black cloud is coming down. I feel like I'm knocking on heaven's door. 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 Mom, take this badge off me. on sea. Do believe I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, 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 knocking on heaven's door. Come wipe these tears from my eyes. I can't cry them anymore. The sun is setting in the western sky. You believe I must be knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Just like so many times before. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Just like so many times before.
We got one more for you.
Carrying a message of positiveness through music.
It's so important to show people, especially musicians and people, that they can go to shows, that they can have fun, that they can enjoy rock and roll, clean and sober. You know, I mean, it's awesome. You know, we all show up to the gigs now. We don't have to worry about somebody not showing up or nodding out on stage. I mean, you know, we've all been through that where we've worked in the clubs and the bar circuits, and it's always, you know, some kind of train wreck we're looking at. But now it's like we have people that take responsibility, and then they show up to the gigs and everything like that. So.
And Ron, how are you?
I just want to say thanks to everybody here. It's been a really great show, and all of the shows. These have been great shows. Everybody's really nice. And it's amazing how much food you could buy when you're not buying alcohol. You know, it's just an abundance of food and water. It's great, and soda. And the kids are always welcome, which is great. Most of us have kids. So I just want to say thanks to everybody and the KCB band for pulling me in. I didn't join this band. I got recruited. I had no choice.
Well, that's good, and you know something, you bring a backbone to the band that's huge, and you sound great. And I hear a little man here, John. Is that right? Is that your name? Ryder John. What's up, Ryder John? How's your day?
Hi.
I want to say hi. We have a bashful young drummer, but you know something? All is good. We're going to see him at the 12-Step Music Fest too. We're all going to hang out. We're going to have some fun. You guys are the bomb. I want to thank you for all you do for recovery, and most importantly, thank you for Rockers in Recovery and the assistance.
And go to rockersrecovery.com, sign up, be a member, keep in the loop of everything that's going on. Absolutely.
And if you want to check out Keep Coming Back, go to the Facebook page, Keep Coming Back, and we'll have all our gigs on there, some recordings of us and whatnot. So see you there.
Sounds great. All right. Hey, listen, we'll be back right after this message. Hang tight. We got some, of course, Keep Coming Back band playing right after this interview. So keep hanging out.
Well, that's all that we've been below. Gotta cry, cry, cry. Top the clouds at the cover of a clear blue sky. Tears cry big river. I'm gonna sit right here till I die. Well, I met her accidentally, St. Paul, Minnesota. Called her up every time I heard her draw that southern draw. Heard my dream went back down, cold in Davenport. You a big river when she called. Talk that weeping willow, and it cry, cry, cry. Talk the cries had a cover of a clear blue sky. It's a cry for that woman, not you big river. I'm gonna sit right here until I die. Later on down the river, Trader said to me, yeah, well, she's gone, boy, she's gone. Well, I just stepped out of Memphis, just walked out the door, I raised a hue eyebrows and went on down and on. Talk that weeping willow, cry, cry, cry. Talk the clouds that cover of a clear blue sky. Here's a cry for that woman, that you big river. I'm gonna sit right here until I die. Yes, SpongeBob! Well, I'll follow him safely later on down the river. Trader said she'd get here, but she's gone, boy, she's gone. Well, I just walked out, had enough, take my blues on down the gulch. She loves you more than me. Talk that we've been widowed, cry, cry, cry. Cause the cries out of cover of a clear blue sky. Here's a cry for that woman. Thank you, big river. I'm gonna sit right here until I die. I said, I'm gonna sit right here until I die. I'm gonna sit right here until I die. Thank you. Just don't forget to go to Rockers in Recovery. We've got some cool stuff coming up in the future. We got the 12-Step Music Fest, which is down near Key West. It's on, what key is that? Sugarloaf Key, and the date is November 3rd through the 6th. Good time, man.
Get online and find it.
We are KCB, which means keep coming back. If you don't know what that means, keep coming back.
And Daniel here in about 10 hours is going to be coming right back up here with Johnny B and the Road Dogs around 6 o'clock.
Here's hoping you're healthy and wealthy. South Florida's Health and Wealth Radio Network, AM 1470, WWNN, Pompano Beach.
In the fast-paced world we live in, it's hard to find a company that has an impeccable reputation based on professional skill and knowledge, coupled with a strong work ethic, honesty, and integrity. Welcome to the world of Canatelli Builders Incorporated. Specialists in custom residential and commercial construction for 3 generations, CBI finishes the job as agreed and on time. Browse our website at www.canatellibuilders.com, read the testimonials, then call us at 954-977-2775 and let us add your name to our list of satisfied customers. While at the site, be sure to follow the link for complete information about Chinese drywall and what it may mean to you. Integrity, ethics, honesty, knowledge, performance, service, experience, Canatelli Builders. 954-277-2775. Canatelli Builders, the official contractor for the Florida Panthers.
Are you ready to explode your business? Then you are ready to take advantage of the massive marketing power of the Holistic Lifestyles Radio Network. Advertise your business, product, or service with one of the most powerful multimedia platforms on the planet. With more than 300,000 online listeners, 30 social media outlets, and a booming 15 hours of live programming on South Florida's 50,000-watt mega giant, AM 1470 WNN. Your business will be exposed to hundreds of thousands of active, progressive consumers hungry for your products and services. You'll be featured on blogs, live streams, social media, at live events, and on hundreds of archived podcasts, including Rockers in Recovery, the East Coast music scene, Defending Your Money, and dozens more. Plus, prime-time national exposure during major festivals from Las Vegas to Boston and the Florida Keys. Get ready to take your business to the next level and jumpstart your branding strategy. Advertise your events, products, and services on the Holistic Lifestyles Radio Network. Call now for special discounted packages, 877-799-8773. That's 877-799-8773. Or visit HolisticLifestylesRadio.com.
My name is Robert Gluck. I am a practicing trial lawyer and have been specializing in helping people who have been injured in all types of accidents for the past 20 years. I handle cases throughout the state of Florida. Recently, the legislature in Tallahassee has changed certain laws, and insurance companies are now taking advantage of those changes, resulting in much lower offers on personal injury cases across the board. It is now necessary to file a lawsuit to get a fair settlement on these cases. Before you settle your case for less than what it's worth, let me review it over the phone or in person with you for free. If there is no recovery, there is no fee. Call now for your free consultation at 954-583-8999. That's 954-583-8999.
The hiring of an attorney is an important decision that should not be based solely upon advertising. Ask for free written information about qualifications and experience.
He's doing some singles here and there, but
yes,
for a complete CD from start to finish, there is not one bad song in the deep end.
Well, thank you. And, you know, that, of course, came out of a time of great loss in my life, not only losing my longtime mate of many, many, many years, really my husband, but also a lead guitarist who just died suddenly in his sleep. And then realizing that there was so much around me that was positive. I think it's a very bittersweet record, but all in all, I also think it's sort of a triumphant record, and it's more of a record about the many sides of love than it is about the loss of love. But, you know, these are things that I think everyone can identify with and does have in their life, and I think it's always important to remember that, especially even just with these weather events of the last couple of weeks and the last month or so, important to remember how fortunate we are and to count. I mean, it's an old saying, but to count your blessings every day.
You are absolutely 100% right. Because, you know, when I sit down and I start to falter, and I don't care, you're human, you're going to. I mean, anybody that doesn't and says they don't, you know, I run away from those type of people. Yeah. Because in reality is we're going to hit those low points in life. But when you start to look around, you know, I did a benefit today. Actually, it's going to be playing at 9 o'clock tonight for children with disabilities, and we went and we broadcasted live. A couple of the bands that I work with down there actually donated their time today and went and played at it. But one of the things that I got from that, there was a kid named Sean that they rolled up in a wheelchair. And let me tell you something. He was 9 years old.
Yeah.
And here he is in a wheelchair, and he can't even move. I mean, he's got a spine that is this like a snake. And I mean, it's just, I'm sitting and I'm thinking to myself, I have kids myself. By the grace of God, my children aren't in that position. But most importantly, who am I to complain about the little things that are going on in my life because I'm not happy about them? Look at what's going on right in front of you.
Exactly, John. Exactly. So it really is a wake-up call, and, for all of us, although, I will freely admit, and I know you will too, that sometimes when the dark, you turn around the dark corner and it's staring you in the face, it sometimes is hard to remember that there are joyful things in your life too. But every morning is a new morning, and this is what I say, and every morning is a new morning, and, when you wake up, make it a better day. We all fall down at times, but make it a better day. And this is why we have this support network. This is why we support each other.
And I think I'm really, at a position in my life today that I can see where if I didn't have that network, of friends, that in those bleaker times or those moments of indecision or those moments where I might be lacking in faith, I have to be able to say to these people, and a lot of times I don't even have to say that to them. They know me so well, they're just saying it to me. Hey, John, you okay?
Yeah.
And you're able to go to that next level, and that's where the honesty part about this is. And that's why the music, when I listen to your music, you can hear the honesty of your heart in your music.
Oh, thank you.
Because it's coming from a point where you just put it all out on the table. Hey, listen, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm feeling. And when you do that, I believe that not only are you going to capture the spirit of another person, because I believe that all music is spiritual.
Yes.
And I believe that, there's either a negative spirit or a positive spirit. I truly believe that. But in this particular situation, it's that grieving process that you went through that enabled you to touch a spot in people that is very unique because you were able to get honest about your own grieving. You didn't just bury it, stuff it down and okay, everything is going to be wonderful. You dealt with it.
Really, and boy, there is that temptation, and I know we all know it, But if you're a songwriter, it just comes to the surface anyway, and that's, I think, the important thing about a lot of this being a network where artists support each other too, and where we support fans and friends, and it's important to admit that fact, I really had to get on the stick, and I knew I had to write a complete record, So thank you so much for saying that you think it's a totality, and that's what I was going for. So thank you so much.
Well, you hit it right on the head. The other thing that's amazing to me is that by the time you were 16 years old, because that's amazing. By the time you were 16 years old,
my brother and I had a band. And my parents were really supportive. God bless them. They're both gone, as we've talked about, but they supported us, and we had a band. And then we met this producer in New York, and the next thing you know, we had ourselves a little rock and roll record. We were on a label called Mainstream, which also had the Amboy Dukes, which was Ted Nugent's first band.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
when you went through that experience at 16, and I know from when I was at that age, 13, 15, 17. When you're going through that age, you kind of tend to, as things are happening to you, you tend to take them for granted. You're not really grateful. I know I wasn't. I'm not going to speak for you, but I know for me.
No, I was. Yeah.
How did you feel about it at that point in your life?
At the point in time, things were really moving fast, and we didn't know what we were doing. They took us into a studio in New York. We'd never recorded anything, Took us into a studio in New York and made and cut two sides, and especially we never really had an album. It was a single, and and it was a very interesting experience because we had just no idea. They just stuck me in front of a microphone, and I was a wailing kind of singer, as you know, anyway. So I just wailed, and then it was a few more years before we made another record. It was probably 5 years before we made another one. Well, maybe 4 years. And so then there was a little period of settling down where you were able to see kind of what you were doing, and we were steadily playing gigs during that time. So I did go to college. I did graduate from college. I merged all my college classes into like 2 days a week. It took 3 days a week. I had 5 days a week. I traveled with the band, but
But you were playing a lot of coffee house circuits back then at that point too,
a lot
right?
of coffee house circuits. What we called in the Northeast, what we called teen clubs, which don't really happen anymore that I know of, and then after a while, just started playing regular clubs, and before you know it, they say your life is what's happening while your life is what's happening while you're thinking about other things. Is that what they say?
Yeah, exactly.
No, this is my life, and it's been a good life. It is a good life.
Now, the first band that you were involved with, what was the name of the first band you were involved with?
The Wrong Black Bag, but wrong, we put an H on the end of it. We thought that was super hip. And that was the band that had the record. Yeah, the Wrong Black Bag.
That's classic. And
I know. Well, we couldn't. We thought we were so smart.
Now, am I mistaken in the fact that because I'm going off of memory with a little bit of this, but the Scratch Band, is that another band?
Yes, the Scratch Band was kind of the next fully formed band after that, and there I met a guitar player named G.E. Smith, and G.E. would be very instrumental, still one of my closest friends, who would be very instrumental in the rest of my life, obviously, because I ended up on Saturday Night Live with him, and when he was the leader of the band, and many years later, that's how it comes around sometimes. So go from kicking around and club circuit, the next thing you know, you're on NBC.
And when you made that jump, and you were, because everybody knows the Beehive Queen from the Saturday Night Live band. I mean, who doesn't know Christine? You know what I mean? So, I grew up. You know what I mean? Watching Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
When did you actually? You ended up with Saturday Night Live in the early '90s. Is that correct?
Yes, in the early '90s, and at that time, G.E. had already been the musical director for a while. And the year that T-Bone, the late, great T-Bone Wolk, left, the bass player, another friend of mine came in as a bass player, and at the same time, they just asked me to do one gig with them, an outside gig, not even on the show. But Lorne Michaels was there, and he liked what I did, and said to G.E., why don't you have her come back and come with the band on the show? And that's really how it happened. It's really pretty, it was pretty classic. But in the meantime, G.E. and I had been keeping in touch, and I am a very active collector of what's called deep Southern soul music, and I'm a musicologist. I write about that. In fact, I'll be in Muscle Shoals, Alabama in July for the W.C. Handy Festival. I love to go down to Muscle Shoals and work with some of the cast down there. But G.E. has called me up and said, we want to do this gig, and we want to use some of the songs that you've been sending me on these mixtapes that you make, these cassettes that you make of all your records. Why don't you, pick some songs, and that's what we'll do. So it was, my record collection was also fairly instrumental in getting me the gig.
Wow. Wow. And let me ask you, when you were, through this, because there's a break here, in between the time you go to Saturday Night Live, and prior to that, and of course the Scratch Band, what was taking place in that time period? You were writing and producing music?
No, I actually never wrote in the Scratch Band. Here's something interesting. My late husband was always after me to start writing, but there were the guys were the writers, and I was the chick singer. Then I started playing guitar, and the next thing you knew, the Scratch Band came and went, and we made 2 records, and I never wrote one single thing on them, John. And my husband was prodding, I know you can do this. After the Scratch Band broke up, then I had to form my own band. The first band I had was called Christine Ohlman and the Soul Rockers, and I was very well aware that I would have to start writing songs. And it was terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying. And the first couple I wrote were terrible. But then I began to realize that you had to tell a story, and I got the hang of it. And I dare say that, I'm, without being big-headed, I'm the best songwriter that band ever produced. I turned out to be a pretty good songwriter, but it was terrifying at first.
It's you go on. I mean, this is amazing because the history of this. Because when you think about that, the writing aspect of it, and getting your wings and getting your voice, so to speak, in your music, you went on to do in Central Park. I think it was 2003. You ended up doing. You fronted for Big Brother and the Holding Company.
Yep, the Year of the Blues. That was the Year of the Blues that the Smithsonian Institute sponsored, and they did a tribute to Janis Joplin at Summer Stage in Central Park, and they had a bunch of us, and it was just a wonderful night. The late Phoebe Snow, we lost Phoebe about 2.5 months ago now. Phoebe Snow, Kate Pearson from the B-52s, Kenya Ravon. A bunch of us they called us there, and we sang Janis Joplin's tunes. But they asked me to open the show. I did a duet with Sam Andrew. It was absolutely amazing, and the Cosmic Blues Band was there too. So I sang with the Cosmic Blues Band as well. Wow! And all of us were just completely enraptured with the whole thing. We were so proud to be asked, and so proud to be included.
When you take a look at the lifestyle that, and I got to tell you, getting to know you a little bit, you have definitely a good foundation in reality, because there's a lot of people that are in your position that don't have that fundamental understanding that, hey, listen, you know something, I'm here right now, it's okay right now, and everything's cool right now. And treat people with dignity, respect, and patience, and tolerance, and love, and it's amazing. I hear it in you every time I talk to you, and I see it in things that you've written, and I hear it in your music. And how do you stay grounded like that?
Well, I believe that you always have to have. I believe that in whatever job you're in, that you have to be a person first. You have to be a real person first. You have to have some regard for yourself. You have to be able to take care of yourself, your health, your well-being. I think anyone, who's in recovery knows this. It's important, eating and sleeping and all of that stuff. But more than that, you have to be a person, and every person has worth. Unfortunately, in my business, John, there are a bunch of idiots. I mean, anybody, you've seen them, I've seen them. It's appalling to me when I do see them, because I just can't believe anybody would think so much of themselves that they would think that it precluded treating other people with decency and giving them the same consideration and dignity.
Correct.
I just believe you have to be a person first. Your responsibility in this life is to yourself and then to everyone around you, starting with your mate, then to your family, then to your immediate group. I believe it's vitally important to be a responsible member of the human race. And to be so self-centered that you can't see anybody else around you is irresponsible.
You know something? That's why we love you, Christine.
Well, well, I love you too. I mean, that's really it. I mean, to me, that's the nutshell of it. I mean, I said it in a nutshell. You can't ignore other people or feel, because do unto others. Do unto others. If you expect them to do unto you, it's not the world revolves around me, and it's.
Yeah,
But by the same token, you have to have a sense of your self-worth. You have to have a sense of yourself. That's important.
Well, I think there's a fine line between being a rug that somebody's walking all over.
That's right.
And being somebody that has self-worth and self-esteem and is able to say, hey, listen, I can be there for people and I can treat people with respect and dignity and treat people the way I want to be treated, as you said eloquently. But at the same token, don't take kindness for weakness. And we can have that variable today where we don't have to go to the extremes.
Yes, and I think that's very important to talk about, on this show, that weakness is, let me rephrase that. It is not always easy to be kind. It takes strength to be kind. And so therefore kindness is not only in a way it's a virtue, but also kindness is something that involves selflessness sometimes, and that's not an easy thing to do. So weakness and kindness don't go hand in hand, I don't believe.
No. No, absolutely not.
Yes, and it's super important not to be a rug that anybody's walking.
We have to have that strength. I truly believe, and I don't, I tread on this lightly when I'm on the air, but I got to tell you, there are certain times where I have to call on my higher power for that strength.
Of course.
And through that strength, and it isn't somebody, like that. Thank God, by the grace of God, that aspect of my life has, I haven't had an urge or a desire to use in years.
Yeah.
But at the same token, I've had an urge and a desire to hurt people.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Where I got to say to myself, God, give me strength to treat them the way I want to be treated, and walk through those feelings and those emotions without reacting.
That's right. The reacting, I think, is so key. The reacting is so key because the reacting is what stays with you, you see, and then builds up and builds up and builds up. Just, do the right thing and let it go, and let it go, I mean, we all know this in whatever level of recovery.
Correct.
It's so important to let it go. Otherwise, it's going to sit there.
And fester.
And fester. And also, kindness, small and random acts of kindness and just smiling at someone sometimes can be such an illuminating thing to do. I mean, can give you so much. Let's be a little selfish about it, too. You get back.
Oh, absolutely.
You get back from that kind of stuff. So, let's be a little bit selfish and, and say that, it's a two-way street.
I had when I was newly in recovery, I had a lady that her name is Michelle, and she said something to me that was amazing. I think it was in my first 60 days or so. She said to me, John, it's painful to have people love you, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Isn't that true?
And it was amazing to me that I had to stop and think about the fact that it was painful when somebody showed me affection or showed me love or somebody showed me a smile or, it irritated, it aggravated me, and partly because I was incapable of giving it back.
That's right. That's right.
So what we're going to do, we're going to talk more about this, and we'll talk more about other stuff too. But we're going to have to go out to a break. And what I want to do is I want to play my favorite song on the CD, which is Cry Baby Cry. And
thank you.
We're going to talk about that, and we'll be back right after the commercial and Cry Baby Cry.
Thank you.
back home with me.
I just can't seem to knock on the right door and say the right thing to make you mine. And I know there's a lot of you out there that stood in my shoes before when you had a small misunderstanding that bring you to the big cheerful and comfort.
You know, there's only one thing that brings a man down so bad, and that's, when he's reached the bottom, and there's only one thing left for him to do, and that's to bow his head in solitude and cry. Baby, baby, try to understand. Oh, baby, now, try to look inside the soul of a man. You're gonna see what a case of loneliness can do. Christine, I'm all alone without you, and I think I'm gonna cry, baby, cry. Cry, baby, cry. Cry, baby, cry.
Let me tell you about the Sound Pillow. Sound Pillow helps many people in early addiction recovery who suffer from stress, anxiety, fear, and long sleepless nights to get a comfortable night's sleep by providing a calming and soothing feeling for the mind's everyday distractions. Sound Pillow allows the mind to shut down, the body to relax, and the spirit to heal. Go online to soundpillow.com. That's soundpillow.com. And while you're there, check out the many endorsements from people and addiction treatment centers using the Sound Pillow. Don't lose another night's sleep. Call toll-free today, 877-846-6488. That's 877-846-6488. And let the healing begin. Go online to soundpillow.com. That's www.soundpillow.com.
Are you ready to explode your business? Then you are ready to take advantage of the massive marketing power of the Holistic Lifestyles Radio Network. Advertise your business, product, or service with one of the most powerful multimedia platforms on the planet. With more than 300,000 online listeners, 30 social media outlets, and a booming 15 hours of live programming on South Florida's 50,000-watt mega giant, AM 1470 WNN. Your business will be exposed to hundreds of thousands of active, progressive consumers hungry for your products and services. You'll be featured on blogs, live streams, social media, at live events, and on hundreds of archived podcasts, including Rockers in Recovery, the East Coast music scene, Defending Your Money, and dozens more. Plus, prime-time national exposure during major festivals from Las Vegas to Boston and the Florida Keys. Get ready to take your business to the next level and jumpstart your branding strategy. Advertise your events, products, and services on the Holistic Lifestyles Radio Network. Call now for special discounted packages, 877-799-8773. That's 877-799-8773. Or visit HolisticLifestylesRadio.com.
Do you or someone you know have an addiction problem? Healing and a new way of life is only a phone call away. Palm Partners Recovery Centers specialize in chemical dependency, offering a comprehensive program of detox, treatment, and aftercare. Palm Partners combines traditional 12-step recovery with holistic and therapeutic treatment, guiding the patient to long-term recovery. Take control of your life. Reach for the highest quality care at an affordable cost. For a free consultation, call Palm Partners today. Toll free, 877-284-3052. That's 877-284-3052. Palm Partners Recovery Center, healing mind, body, and spirit.
My name is Robert Gluck. I am a practicing trial lawyer and have been specializing in helping people who have been injured in all types of accidents for the past 20 years. I handle cases throughout the state of Florida. Recently, the legislature in Tallahassee has changed certain laws, and insurance companies are now taking advantage of those changes, resulting in much lower offers on personal injury cases across the board. It is now necessary to file a lawsuit to get a fair settlement on these cases. Before you settle your case for less than what it's worth, let me review it over the phone or in person with you for free. If there is no recovery, there is no fee. Call now for your free consultation at 954-583-8999. That's 954-583-8999.
The hiring of an attorney is an important decision that should not be based solely upon advertising. Ask for free written information about qualifications and experience.
Welcome back. Sorry about the double up on the commercials there. We forgot to take our quarter after break. Me and Christine were in deep on our conversation and blew past the 15-minute after break I was supposed to take. But you know something? All is good. That's why I like hanging out with people like Christine, because I get to get sidetracked and I get to get into the conversation and I get to have some fun with what we do here at Rockers in Recovery. You can check us out at rockersinrecovery.com. It's the new social media site that we just put up. You can also check us out at our regular website at holisticlifestylesradio.com. Christine Ohlman is with us tonight live. She's, of course, the Beehive Queen from the Saturday Night Live band and has done oodles of other stuff and just came out with a great CD, The Deep End. That song happens to be Cry Baby Cry with Dion. There Ain't No Cure, which is another song on there, which is amazing, too. That's my second favorite, is with Ian Hunter. And Christine, tell us a little bit about, first of all, the making of The Deep End. It didn't just happen overnight. This was like a process, correct?
Yeah. We started recording in 2009, and I contacted a bunch of friends and asked them if they would be on the record. Some of the special guests include Dion, who was just so gracious and wonderful, and Ian Hunter, also Marshall Crenshaw. Marshall Crenshaw does a duet with me on the record. Levon Helm from the band plays drums on a cut and tambourine on another cut.
What cut is Levon Helm on?
Levon is on What's the Matter with You, Baby, the duet with Marshall Crenshaw.
Yeah, unbelievable stuff.
Also gave us over his studio to use for the day, which was wonderful up in Woodstock, New York. Our friend Catherine Russell does the background vocals on Cry Baby Cry that you just heard. G.E. Smith plays on the record. Also, Eric Amble, who's a great alternative country guitar player from New York. And my friend Andy York. Andy is John Mellencamp's guitar player, and Andy co-produced the record with me. So quite a few. Also Big Al Anderson. Al Anderson, great guitar player from NRBQ. Now he lives in Nashville. Just 20 years in recovery, Al. Just got past that milestone. So shout out to him.
You know, it's like I said. You know, when you get one of those songs in your head, you know, and I'm sure you've gone through it, and with your own. I'm sure you have your own musical interests.
Yeah.
And you get that song in your head, and you're waking up in the morning, and that's the first thing that like fills your mind is Cry Baby Cry. And I mean, I literally,
amazing. Thank you.
I literally am getting up, humming it, walking around, singing it.
Yeah, Dion and I both. That's actually I didn't write that. That's another record from my collection. There are 3 cover tunes on the record on the Deep End, and that's one of them. Very obscure little 45 that I'd had kicking around for years, and I sent a copy of it to Dion, and he loved it we decided we would do it.
Amazing, man, amazing.
Thank you.
There Ain't No Cure, like I said, is my second favorite. That is just hardcore, man, hardcore rock and roll tune. And what was the thought behind that?
There Ain't No Cure I wrote. I was down in Clarksdale, Mississippi. 2 years after my husband passed away, I decided to drive through the Delta in a rented car one summer. So I flew down to Jackson, Mississippi, and I got in a car and I drove up all around Clarksdale and up there. And there's a phrase in the Delta Blues, it ain't satisfaction, they used to say. It ain't satisfaction. No matter what I do, it ain't satisfaction. That phrase kept kicking around, and I just, there ain't no cure is something else that I'd heard. I think maybe Charlie Patton, somebody like that, Robert Johnson maybe. So that was the basis of it. And then I got there's a little chorus, you're kind of like poison in a pretty colored bottle.
I love it, yeah.
Way train with a wide open throttle. For me as a songwriter, once I get that germ of an idea, then the rest of the lyrics just kind of pour out. I spent a lot of time on my lyrics. I'm pretty proud of them, and I love the sing-song aspect of that. So we asked Ian to sing on it, and he said he would. He's so gracious as well. And the day that he came to sing, he showed up with the words to The Deep End written on a yellow piece of yellow legal pad paper, and he said, you're really, as a songwriter, you're really upping the ante for me, because he was writing a new record, and he said, do you mind if I sing on The Deep End too?
Wow.
So he also sang some background vocals on The Deep End.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you get to have these experiences, and if you're listening tonight, and you tend to find yourself, and because I believe that everybody's in recovery from one thing or another.
Oh yes.
It doesn't necessarily have to be drugs or alcohol, and it can be having an experience like Christine went through, where you're battling. It's as far as a family member is concerned. To have somebody that battles cancer and passes from cancer, or battles from addiction and passes from addiction, it's the same thing. You're going through those same struggles, and you're going through those same feelings that you would have of grief and all of the rest of the things. It doesn't matter, because basically both diseases kill.
That's right, and as we discussed the last time I was on, my mother died of the effects of alcoholism, and she was 53 years old, and it was terribly difficult. She simply wouldn't admit there was any kind of a problem at all, and it was heartbreaking. That's not something that you soon, ever forget. So I know about that. I certainly know about that.
I'm glad that we're talking about this, because I want to ask you a question. Did you find that, because I had addiction run in my family,
yes.
Especially on my dad's side.
Yes.
And did you find that through that experience that you had to really watch what you were doing as far as your what you were doing in your own lifestyle?
When my husband was so sick, I thought about anything to dull the pain, and I didn't go there, but I thought about it a lot. I thought about it a lot.
The other aspect of it too is growing up in a dysfunctional family, because that's how my family was. Growing up in a dysfunctional family, I tended to gravitate towards dysfunctional people.
Yep.
So did you find that having that aspect in your life, that you had to really be careful on the mates that you picked and the people that you picked and you put in your life?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I just think you have to be very vigilant, and know going in that, first of all, if you came from a dysfunctional family, I mean, it wasn't. I didn't feel that it was my fault that my mother drank. My mother was deeply unhappy. For many reasons, I don't think any of which had to do with me, So she progressively went that way, I think it's important again to remember and not beat yourself up because you were in a dysfunctional family, much of it probably was not your fault, you know. So the important thing is to cut yourself slack.
Well, and I think there's a difference today between today and 25, 30, 40 years ago. While we were going through all of that stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because today, I mean, I'm not going to say that everybody will commit and talk about it, but the change has been drastic to the point where people are more apt to go seek help than they were 40 years ago.
Oh, totally. And it's easier, and it's more accepted.
Correct.
You know, I totally agree with that. Very, very, very much.
I think the other aspect that I appreciate is the fact that people that have had loved ones, because by the grace of God, I'm still sitting here. My family didn't have to bury me by the grace of God, one day at a time. And, doing the right thing, they should never have to, one day at a time. It is a spiritual reprieve based on the daily maintenance. And I got to tell you that I have watched, over my years of abuse, hundreds of people die from their addiction.
Oh, yes.
And being in the music industry, you had to see that unfolding in front of you, too.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. It's so hard to watch because we know that there is a path to recovery, and we know that it can stick,
Mm-hmm.
It's so hard to watch that struggle. And until you come to the realization yourself, everybody around you can be telling you, "Oh, this is what you should do," and they can be so supportive, until you come to the realization yourself.
Yeah, I've always said, and it's amazing, you either choose in or you choose out.
Yep.
But you're going to have to choose something.
That's right.
Because being on the
That's
fence,
right.
being on the fence will make you insane.
Yeah.
Not that choosing out's not going to make you insane, but let me tell you something: living on that fence can definitely drive a person crazy.
Absolutely.
One of the things that I want to talk about real quick is that I am so honored that you are going to be scheduled to play at the 4th Annual 12-Step Music Fest.
I am completely honored myself and just jazzed to be asked, let me say. I'm looking so forward to it.
I can't wait for you to get down. I want I want to be able to share my kind of like little world with you for a little, for a day or so anyway.
Cannot wait.
And it's going to be, we're looking forward to it in a big way. And, the New York City Hit Squad is getting ready to play on the 13th. Give us a little bit of information on the New York City Hit Squad.
We're going down the NYC Hit Squad, which is Ricky Byrd, Liberty DeVito, myself, the Asbury Juke horns, Jeff Kazee on keyboards, and Muddy Shoes on bass. We're getting ready to play the Iridium Jazz Club in New York City on Wednesday, July 13th. Please come down and join us. Iridium was the home of the late, great Les Paul, and it's a great landmark club in New York City. We're also gearing up for the reopening of our home base club, which is a club called the Cutting Room, and we will be playing a benefit for one of the ladder companies, and I know, John, you're going to come up for this, a benefit for one of the ladder companies for what certainly will be a terribly bittersweet time in New York City surrounding September 11th, 2011. Ricky Byrd had become friendly with this ladder company and has stayed after 9/11 and has stayed a part of their extended family, and we're going to do a benefit for them on September 9th.
You guys are mom.
At the Cutting Room, at the newly opened Cutting Room. But if you're in New York City in July, mid-July, please come and see us and be with us on Wednesday, July 13th at Iridium.
And that is at 51st in Broadway?
51st and Broadway. It's really in the basement of the Brill Building, that great famous building where all the songs were written, great songs were written. 51st and Broadway. And they serve great food. John's been there with us.
Oh, it was excellent, man. I had such a good. I don't know if you know what happened that night, but I'm sitting there, right, and I'm like, oh my God, I got to get pictures. Oh my God! I totally had walked out of the hotel without my camera. All right, so now I'm trying to shoot them off of a phone, and I'm like, this is not working. I literally run out on the 51st Street and out on Broadway, and I see that there's a CVS across the street.
Yep.
I ran across to CVS and made it back in a half a song with a throwaway camera.
You didn't get killed crossing Broadway.
It was classic. But I was with my nephew who goes, I can't believe you did it that quick.
Wow.
and here's the good news, Christine. I even paid for it.
Wow.
Listen, Christine Ohlman, what are you doing next? What do you think you're going to be doing next year? You got any ideas, or you just kind of hanging?
Oh, I know. Well, first of all, I could also tell the listeners about another thing. We're very, very happy. I'm very happy to be releasing my very first concert DVD.
Wow.
In fact, it'll be, I believe it'll be up for pre-order on Amazon.com in around about June 15th. The actual release date for Amazon, et cetera, is July 19th. It is called Live Hive, named after my famous beehive.
Absolutely.
Live Hive, Christine Ohlman, and Rebel Montez, which is the name of my band. So that's actually the next thing, the next big thing for me. You know, we'll be promoting that on tour all summer long, and I'll be. I have festivals in Connecticut coming up. I'm in Boston at the Foundation Room of the House of Blues this Thursday. And it just, it continues on from there. I'll be at Music Fest in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania in August. That's a big, big festival out there in Pennsylvania.
I just had a guy on, a buddy of mine, Tony, on, and he used to play the Pocono Blues Fest.
Yep.
And I guess it's now no longer the Pocono Blues Fest, it's the Pennsylvania Blues Fest.
Yep. Well, this is Music Fest is a 10-day, multiple stage thing that they've been putting on for about 10 years, and it's really a big deal.
When is that?
Outside Philly. I'll be there on Sunday, August 7th, on the main stage at Music Fest. Yeah, so I'll be. I mean, it's ChristineOhlman.net. My name is spelled OHLMAN.net. My Facebook page is Beehive Queen. Please come and join me.
I join it all.
Gearing up towards the November 5th festival in Florida, where we will all be meeting and greeting and interacting.
It's going to be cool as hell. The other thing is that I was talking, in the first hour, and I had everybody in the control room laughing, but I am actually taking 2 weeks off in August. And they all laughed.
You are?
Yeah. They don't. Nobody believes it around here, but I'm doing it. And it's going to be the first 2 weeks of August, and I'm going to be in the Philadelphia area visiting family.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Well, April 7th. I mean, Music Fest, I'm sure they know what it is. I mean, Music Fest is just this, it's one of these things that's just sort of organically grown over the years. I believe it. I believe it's 10 days, yeah. But Sunday, August 7th, yes.
Well, definitely, it's getting to the point now where I'm like scheduling things. So that's how. So I'm glad that you told me, and you might be seeing me before November.
I would love to see you in the audience. Are you kidding me? Yes.
That's great stuff, man. And listen, Christine, we love you. Thank you for being on the show. And something in closing, I just want to ask you, if you had to do it all over again, is there anything that you would change?
I'd like to have my mother know that I'm on Saturday Night Live, and she died before that happened.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, John, not really. I mean, I'm happy with where I am now, and I'm happy to be able to get up and do my work every day. So I think I'm very blessed, and but my mom grew up in New York City, and I think she would have gotten the biggest kick out of the fact that I'm on Saturday Night Live.
So, and I got, since you brought that up, I got one other question, real quick.
Sure.
Maybe you can answer this one. When you go in and you perform at Saturday Night Live, is that on a regular basis, or is that as needed, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's pretty much as needed. But remember, there's only 20 live shows a year.
Okay,
so it isn't like being in a Letterman band or something where you're there every night. It's just 20 live shows a year. So we do a variety of things, singing with the band, obviously, and also we do jingles and other kinds of music, pre-recorded music that they use on the show, and also sometimes live music. Sometimes there's live, singing that goes on during skits and all that kind of thing. We're just there to provide music for the show, basically.
Well, something I really, really appreciate when I see you on Saturday Night Live. I tend to tune in just to see you from time to time.
Well, thank you.
So this is what we're going to do, folks. We're going to ask you to go to ChristineOhlman.net. We're going to ask you to keep following her on the Beehive Queen on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And we're going to ask you to pick up her DVD that's coming out. And most importantly, if you really want some soul and some blues and some love, check out The Deep End, and you can find that right at her website. You can also find it on Amazon and iTunes, Christine Ohlman, The Deep End. Christine, as usual, great show. Thank you for being with us, and I look forward to seeing you in my travels and definitely seeing you down here for the 12-Step Music Fest.
Thank you, John. All respect to you, and much love to all the listeners. Thank you so much for having me there.
You bet.
Thank you.
All right, folks, and stay tuned because, of course, we did, an interview or two at a live performance this afternoon, and that was taking place in Margate, Florida. And this live performance was put together from the Keep Coming Back band that played there, but it was more than that. It was to benefit children with disabilities, and it was the Go Green for a Cause organization, a nonprofit that put this event on. And I ask you that if you get an opportunity to go to gogreenforthecause.org and take a look around and help out children with disabilities. But this next few hours here is all going to be dedicated to, of course, you listening to some of the interviews and some of the people that we spoke with, a couple of band interviews, and we did it just this afternoon before we came in here. I want to thank Tony for the first hour and being on with me, my friend Tony from the Poconos, Christine Ohlman from the Saturday Night Live band. Unbelievable. Christine, great human being, great lady. We want to thank Christine for being on with us. We want to thank the Keep Coming Back band. We want to thank Jan from the Eatery for all she did out in Margate today, and just huge stuff going on. Keep it light, but keep it fun. Most of all, keep it serious, because if you're not serious about your recovery, you're doomed to repeat. We'll be back next week on Sunday night with a whole lot of stuff. I got tomorrow night, I'm going to be in here live with Mark Lundholm, the comedian who's emceeing the 12-Step Music Fest. So tomorrow night at 10 o'clock on our 10 o'clock show. Check us out.
Make up my mind, I wait for I will jump right into the deep end, up. I gotta be satisfied, I wanna be right down in the deep end, down in the deep end, down in the deep end, down in the deep end. I told myself I would never surrender, though I was no stranger to the thrill. And take the thirst in your eyes and the twist in your smile.
My name is Charles Beckert. If you or a loved one has been injured in an accident due to the negligence of another, care enough to hire Beckert & Associates to protect your rights. We are an AV-rated law firm and have 45 years of combined experience. We are all former prosecutors and have all worked for the insurance companies, so we know what they're up to. They have their attorneys, and so should you. When involved in an accident, remember, you may be entitled to $10,000 in medical or lost wages under your PIP policy. In addition, you may receive payments for your pain, suffering, or for the suffering of a loved one. Contact us at 954-941-8363 or visit us on the web at southfloridaattorney.com.
The hiring of an attorney is an important decision that should not be based solely upon advertising. Ask for free written information about the firm's qualifications and experience. Let me tell you about the Sound Pillow. Sound Pillow helps many people in early addiction recovery who suffer from stress, anxiety, fear, and long sleepless nights to get a comfortable night's sleep. by providing a calming and soothing feeling for the mind's everyday distractions. Sound Pillow allows the mind to shut down, the body to relax, and the spirit to heal. Go online to soundpillow.com. That's soundpillow.com. And while you're there, check out the many endorsements from people and addiction treatment centers using the Sound Pillow. Don't lose another night's sleep. Call toll-free today, 877-846-6488. That's 877-846-6488. And let the healing begin. Go online to soundpillow.com. That's www.soundpillow.com. The First Step Sober House of Pompano Beach has been part of the 12-step community for 14 years, and they've helped thousands of people to recover from addiction and the issues surrounding addiction. First Step Sober House of Pompano Beach is a sober living community built on the 12-step approach. Male or female, you can learn to be responsible again. Their 3 to 6 month intensive sober living house features a compassionate and structured program, and they work with attorneys and the courts. Call the First Step Sober House of Pompano Beach today, 954-942-7414. That's 954-942-7414. Or go online to firststepsoberhouse.com. Remember, if the elevator to your success is broken, you must take the steps. Take the first step today by calling First Step Sober House of Pompano Beach, 954-942-7414. Or go online to firststepsoberhouse.com.
It's the hottest new addiction recovery mega community on the web, Rockers in Recovery. Music, news, interviews, events, and festivals with an insider's angle to the rock and roll industry, all backed up by artists who are in recovery and support recovery, featuring dozens of rock legends like former Joan Jett and the Blackhearts lead guitarist Ricky Byrd, Richie Supa of Aerosmith, and tons more. It's a worldwide music and media festival at your fingertips. Get inside the rock and roll recovery scene with a click of your mouse. Click rockersinrecovery.com. That's rockersinrecovery.com.
Here's hoping you're healthy and wealthy. South Florida's Health and Wealth Radio Network, AM 1470, WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
This is the Rockers in Recovery radio show, dedicated to news, interviews, events, and festivals taking place in the rock and roll industry and in the world of bands and musicians who support recovery. Find out more by going to holisticlifestylesradio.com or join Rockers in Recovery on Facebook. Now, the host of Rockers in Recovery, here's John Hollis.
Welcome to Rockers in Recovery, and of course, that's Christine Ohlman. Christine Ohlman will be coming up here in a little while to have a good show with us. We're going to have her on for about an hour. We're going to be talking all kinds of great stuff because Christine and me, when we get to talking some good stuff. And that song right there happens to be on the deep end, the new CD by Christine. And she did it with Dion. And let me tell you, man, when you listen to that whole song, I am like, you know, being a recovering addict. I have some addictive behaviors. I'm just replaying that thing over and over and over again. It's the best song I've heard produced in a really long time. And I got to tell you, man, with Dion's voice in there was just amazing. And we'll have Christine Ohlman coming up here in a little bit. We got my buddy Tony, though, who's on the line with me. Tony, it's been a long time, and we were contemplating earlier while we were talking on the phone about a reuniting in Chicago for this year's Clapton's Crossroads Guitar Festival, which is probably not going to happen for either one of us. But we're going to have to get together sooner or later, dude.
Yeah, when God sees fit, right?
Isn't that how it works?
Yeah, the signs are not there for us to be together at the end of June. But,
nah. Hey, it's going to be a good show, though. Did you know who they're? Do they have any headliner? Well, I know they always got headliners, but who's some of the people that are playing? Do you know?
It really seems like a repeat performance of 2010. To be honest with you, I see nothing too much different. So. For the addict side of me, I feel like I'm not missing anything.
There you go. Good man.
I saw it already, so I don't need to get back there.
Yeah, we already seen that.
Again.
Well, not unless they slip something in at the last minute on us. Then we'll probably
they might do that, but it's the same top performers. You're going to get ZZ Top again. I'm sure you're going to get Buddy Guy. You'll get John Mayer. You'll get the standard Eric Clapton invites the best.
Oh yeah, man, cream of the cream, bro. Can't get any better. What we seen last year was just unbelievable, man.
Yeah, I tell you what, I still every once in a while reminisce. I have the DVD. I still have my photographs that need to be edited, half of them. So it's a work in progress.
Yeah, actually, something that was funny. I was waiting for some of those pictures. I keep saying to myself, Tony will get to it.
Hey. Somebody just wrote me an email and said, as long as we get together and do this before we're in another place getting together, afterlife, it'll all work out. So be it.
It's good stuff. Hey, listen, what's on the agenda? I mean, it's been a long time since we talked, and let me just give you a little bit of a breakdown on how me and Tony met. June 26, 2010, we were up in Crossroads Guitar Festival, and I'm standing on the riser for people that had press credentials, and here we are. We're standing side by side, and one thing leads to another, and we end up finding out that, of course, we're both friends of 12-step organizations, and at that point we were hit it off and kind of hung out for the rest of the day together. But it was so cool because here you are, I'm, 1,600 miles or 1,400 miles away from where I live. He's at least 1,000 miles from where he lives. And here we are on common ground no matter what. It doesn't matter where you meet somebody, man. It's so cool that when you belong to a fellowship, that you can be anywhere at any time, and when you meet somebody, it's like you've known them your whole life almost.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's more friends out there that we haven't met, right?
Absolutely. Do you believe, now, when you decided that your recovery was where you needed to go with your life, because, listen, we all come to the end. It's either jails, institutions, or death, but we all come to the end. And when we get to that end, Tony, everybody does it kind of, differently. It all comes to a crashing halt. But, what happened for you in particular?
Well, my bottom, when I tell my story and I go right back to that dark and gloomy place, I just really, isolation, that was me. My excitement was getting back to the house and locking myself in the house for days on end with whatever supplies I brought back to the house, and it was pretty dark. I was living in Tampa, Florida. I knew the bank was coming at some point in time to foreclose on the house. That's inevitable when you don't pay your mortgage for 6 or 7 months. And it was dark and hot because it was June. It was June with no AC because
in Tampa.
The AC was broken. And eventually I stopped paying the electric bill. So for a short period there until I constantly people into paying the bill for me, there was not even any fans, and I was like plugging an extension cord into my neighbor's power outlet. And every once in a while I'd get some juice to play the stereo. That was an excitement beyond belief. And that was it. That's what it came down to. I would spend whatever time inside that house, going out and foraging for whatever I needed coming back. And at night I'd light candles And then at the end of the night, of course, on the carpet with a headlamp on, searching for whatever remnants were there. And that's where it went. And I can't tell you, except somebody extended the offer for help, and I was ready. And that was my brother. He spent. I had a sister and brother-in-law who lived in Orlando, and they had, one fell swoop. They just said, "Look, you can either stay here and rot, or be out in the street, or you have an opportunity to go into treatment again and try this." And I was tired. I was ready. Didn't even know I was ready, but I took a drive with them to Orlando. Got in the plane the next day. I slept on my dad's couch for 2 days, and then ended up in treatment for a long time, long-term, little place in Blairstown, New Jersey that I didn't know existed near my hometown, about 15 minutes from my hometown, actually, and spent 11 months at this facility called Little Hill Arena Lodge, where their slogan is where hope can become fact. And, I believe that today. I didn't know it when I got there. And I got everything I needed. I was taught how to live one day at a time. I was taught to take care of myself and do the things that I wasn't able to do for a long time. I had to relearn that kind of stuff. How to get up in the morning, brush your teeth, make your bed, respect others. All the stuff that we get to relearn when we recover. And I'm still trying to do that today.
Well, I think something when you talk about this, Tony, at the very beginning, it's really important that you mention that, because I got to tell you, man, my whole life was just geared around one thing: the ways and means of getting more.
Yeah.
So I didn't really care about hygiene. I didn't really care about anything else. The only thing I cared about was me and getting mine.
Yeah.
So I think that, what you're talking about is very interesting in the fact that, I'll give you an example. Recently we had somebody contact us from the life skills program here in the jail, and there's guys that are in the county jail that are down here that listen to this show on a regular basis. And, nothing like having a captive audience, huh? But one of the things that I can understand is that they're in a life skills program. And when I came in and I finally made that decision to choose in, I got to tell you, man, it was like all new to me. For my first month, I was babbling, man. I was just slobbering on myself. I really didn't even, it was like people were just pushing me in a direction. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. I was not doing anything on my own without direction.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, and I think that when you think about the fear aspect of this, because there's a lot of fear and apprehension in the fact of what am I going to do if I can't use? Well, it isn't so much that I can't use; it's the fear of what are you going to fill that void with.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing in terms of the denial of being able to enter into recovery was what am I going to do if I don't drink and drug, because that's what I do all the time. And there's no way that all the activities of my life were going to go on without me doing that. And as you know, I'm a drummer. I've played for years, and I couldn't imagine ever doing that without being drunk or high. That's what I did for 25 plus years. And boy, I had a lesson in recovery. At this rehab I was in, they did a beautiful Christmas show, and that was the first time in over 25 years that I had played sober, and I was scared shitless. But it was one of those spiritual experiences where I realized at that moment that if I can do this, I can do anything. There's no stopping here.
And that faith and understanding that you could walk through something and come out the other side is just remarkable. I'm sure you weren't thinking, well, I'm just going to have faith and walk through this. It was coming out the other side of it that you said to yourself, wow, something, this was pretty cool. This wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No, I didn't have much faith. I was very hopeless, without a doubt hopeless, and did not have any kind of faith. And my idea of what was going to happen in recovery was I was going to meet with a psychiatrist. He was going to prescribe some kind of medication for me, a pill, because that would be easy to take like once a day. and then I wouldn't drink anymore. And when somebody told me that wasn't going to happen, I got skeptical again. But I just hung in there. This guy used to tell me every night at the rehab when I would want to leave that, can you just stay until 11 tonight? You wait until tomorrow again, see how you feel. And I did that for a while, and eventually things changed, and I wanted to be there.
I was running my whole life, and ran from everything that I could possibly run from. And when I finally, chose in again, I think we have to come to a point in our lives where we have to make that choice. Nobody else can make that choice for us. We have to make that choice. If we're going to choose in or choose out, what is our choice to be? When I finally made the decision to choose in, one of the things that took place for me is exactly what you're talking about. Is, I hit that wall of denial for that first month. Well, something, maybe it isn't that bad. Something, maybe I could just go by a 20. Maybe I can, that mind, until you start to understand and you start to clear up and you start to put together the pieces that, wow, every time I used, I had consequences. Every time I used, I got arrested. Every time I used, problems occurred. Now, when you take away the use, I still had unmanageability. It didn't just change and reverse itself. But anytime there was major consequences, it was all due to my drinking and my drugging. Would you agree on a first step that that's the case in your life?
Oh, without a doubt. Of course, I didn't see that until other people kind of gave me some great examples and said, why don't you write some of that stuff down? Why don't you take a look at it? And they were doing this in my first month, while I was at the rehab, and I had never done that before. And when something about putting that stuff down and writing, the insanity of what we do over and over, and the consequences that just kept coming and coming, and it was like picture book alcoholism and drug addiction. I mean, looking back, I can say it today, but it all fell in sequence. Things fell apart. They got worse. I drank to forget about it. I drugged to forget about it, and I never took care of any of those problems. I just created more. Every time that I would pick up, it didn't get better. It got worse. And when you start to look at the word is truth, getting honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
I couldn't lie about it anymore, because that's what I did for a long, long time. Somebody would tell you, you need to go to treatment. You're an alcoholic. What are you talking? I boast. Yeah, I'm an alcoholic. I love to drink. This is what I do. That's who I am. It's my identity. But never put it in the light that it really is. Like you're saying, the consequences. Really look at them for what they are. And I think when I heard other people share their experience about their realization with a bottom and consequences, and how their lives actually, you get to the next point of the story, which is, strength and hope of what happened to them in their recovery, then I was willing to say, well, let me just give it a shot. Even if, that one day at a time concept really came in. Even if I just hang in there for one more day, and maybe I'll see things getting a little bit better, and maybe tomorrow I'll feel a little bit more different about this. I might have a seed of hope that I could stop drinking, and I could, get a life.
I hung on the fact for a long time, and maybe you can relate to this, but this too shall pass.
Yeah.
And I still do today. I mean, that's when I hit that turbulence in life that everybody goes through, I fall back on this too shall pass, and I have faith in that now because I've seen it pass so many times.
And the reality for me, and I'm sure it is for you too, is that nothing is ever going to be as bad as when I was out there.
Oh.
It just can't be, because I when I go back to that house in Florida in my mind, in the dark, with the headlamp, sweating my ass off, and just living that kind of existence. I also go back to the coming to or waking up on a daily basis with the same thought. And I hear my neighbors getting ready for work, 6:30 in the morning, and I'm dreading the clock's ticking. I'm looking at the clock. I'm hearing these people get ready for work, and I'm thinking, why can't I be the guy who, gets up, makes coffee, goes out, waters his yard, and goes to work, and his car doesn't veer into the liquor store, you get the pick-me-up to get through the day, or it doesn't, end up crack dealers before you get to work or get to work at all. Why can't I be like this guy?
Yeah.
And I just, I would say to myself, well, maybe today I won't do what I did yesterday. And knowing damn well that was just a lie, and that eventually at some point that day it was back to
It's the same. I mean, the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And we play that scenario in our minds. When you think back, you play it over and over and over again, and you really think it's going to be different, and it never is. It never is. You're always waking up doing the same thing. I heard it put, the best I ever heard it put was, for 20 years or 30 years of my life, I sat on the bar stool talking about all of the things that I wanted to do, and then I got sober and I went and did them.
Yeah, it's like a second life.
Yeah.
At least it is for me. I am going to be celebrating the end of this month, 10 years of sobriety, one day at a time, and that's a miracle. And I know that during those 10 years, I have lived more than I had the past 20, 25 years of my life, because I'm doing all the stuff that I talked about doing on the bar stool, or wherever it was, on the floor.
On the floor, under the couch, in the closet.
Or passed out in the car somewhere, wherever it might be.
Yeah.
I get to do all this stuff. And I have, I still have fear about some of the things that I go out and do, but you know what? I know that it's no big deal. I just walk through that door, and I enjoy it. I don't have to stress about it. It's great to get through it.
And the amazing part is that today I don't have to dwell.
No. Yeah, and you know what? The real amazing part, John, is I get to not alone. I get to do it with other people.
Absolutely. What we're gonna do, Tony, is we're gonna go out to a break real quick. We were supposed to take one about 5 minutes ago, 6 minutes ago, but we're gonna take one now. And at that point, when we come back, we're gonna talk. I would like to get into the second and third step, and then I want to talk about your music career, because your music career is totally on an upswing here, and I want to talk more about that. So let's come back right after the break, and we'll talk about the second and third step.
Okay, great, John.
I got a secret, baby, that I shouldn't tell. I may get better, but I'll never get well. I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, you gotta die.
Silence calms the mind and rejuvenates the body. God Pillow has been inspiring daily devotions for over 11 years. God Pillows are custom made with love and intention. We encourage you to become part of our community. Come visit God Pillow on the World Wide Web at godpillow.com.
Let me tell you about the Sound Pillow. Sound Pillow helps many people in early addiction recovery who suffer from stress, anxiety, fear, and long sleepless nights to get a comfortable night's sleep by providing a calming and soothing feeling for the mind's everyday distractions. Sound Pillow allows the mind to shut down, the body to relax, and the spirit to heal. Go online to soundpillow.com. That's soundpillow.com. And while you're there, check out the many endorsements from people and addiction treatment centers using the Sound Pillow. Don't lose another night's sleep. Call toll-free today, 877-846-6488. That's 877-846-6488. And let the healing begin. Go online to soundpillow.com. That's www.soundpillow.com.
In the fast-paced world we live in, it's hard to find a company that has an impeccable reputation based on professional skill and knowledge, coupled with a strong work ethic, honesty, and integrity. Welcome to the world of Canatelli Builders Incorporated. Specialists in custom residential and commercial construction for 3 generations, CBI finishes the job as agreed and on time. Browse our website at www.canatellibuilders.com, read the testimonials, then call us at 954-977-2775 and let us add your name to our list of satisfied customers. While at the site, be sure to follow the link for complete information about Chinese drywall and what it may mean to you. Integrity, ethics, honesty, knowledge, performance, service, experience. Canatelli Builders, 954-277-2775. Canatelli Builders, the official contractor for the Florida Panthers.
Attention, the 4th annual 12-Step Music Fest is coming November 3rd through the 6th in Sugarloaf Key, Florida. 4 days of music and fun with 12 musical acts along with the Rockers in Recovery Supergroup featuring Ricky Byrd, guitarist formerly of Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Liberty DeVito, formerly of Billy Joel, Woody Geisman of the Del Fuegos, Jason Sultan of Todd Rundgren and Utopia, Christine Ohlman of the Saturday Night Live Band, and 4 more to be announced by September. Find out more about this sober Woodstock in Sugarloaf Key by joining rockersinrecovery.com or by calling 877-799-8773.
The First Step Sober House of Pompano Beach has been part of the 12-Step community for 14 years, and they've helped thousands of people to recover from addiction and the issues surrounding addiction. First Step Sober House of Pompano Beach is a sober living community built on the 12-step approach. Male or female, you can learn to be responsible again. Their 3 to 6 month intensive sober living house features a compassionate and structured program, and they work with attorneys and the courts. Call the First Step Sober House of Pompano Beach today, 954-942-7414. That's 954-942-7414. Or go online to firststepsoberhouse.com. Remember, if the elevator to your success is broken, you must take the steps. Take the first step today by calling First Step Sober House of Pompano Beach, 954-942-7414. Or go online to firststepsoberhouse.com.
We got a little Christine Ohlman there. Of course, Christine's coming up with us here shortly. And let me tell you, The Deep End is a CD. We're going to talk about it, me and Christine Ohlman. Of course, if you don't know who Christine Ohlman is of the Saturday Night Live Band and has played with everybody that you could imagine. We're going to go over all of that. We're going to talk about some great passions of hers, but most importantly, the passion of music. And Christine, The Deep End, you want to definitely check out the new CD. Go to her website at ChristineOhlman.com. That's OHLMAN, ChristineOhlman.com. And Tony, welcome back to the show.
Hi.
Definitely a CD you want to get, Tony.
Yeah, I've listened to some of it earlier today, man. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. Amazing. She's just unbelievable. And the amazing part is for me is that when I look back, and I'm sure you feel the same way with your musical career, you know what I mean? You're really so much better now that you're not using. And you get to feel the spirit of the music where you never really felt that before when you were using. I'm sure you did to a certain extent, but you didn't feel it to the point you can feel it today.
Yeah, there was like a missing link, you know, and the block was always there with alcohol and drugs. And, of course, you don't know that till you're on the other side, but, man, it's a hell of a lot different today. And,
you know, you're sitting there one day and you're in the room of a 12-step organization. It doesn't matter which one it is, but you're sitting there because I believe it happens the same way whatever organization you belong to. You're sitting there, and one day you come to believe. You understand that you don't understand anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And the other part of that for me was just to have a feeling in the heart that even if it was only for a brief moment, that everything was going to be okay.
Yeah.
Everything is going to work out. Of course, it might have been fleeting, but I knew it was going to. I knew I wanted that feeling again.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, and you get to that point where you're saying to yourself, okay, no, I got to trust, because that's what it's about. It's about having that trust, that open-mindedness, that honesty, that willingness to be able to do what you're asked of. And, you're taking direction. And I like the way it was put to me was that the 12-step organization is like the insane asylum being ran by the inmates.
Yeah.
Now, at the same time, I needed to understand, and I got better with the fact that, hey, listen, if somebody's been doing it a lot longer than me and they've been doing it and they haven't been using, they must know a little bit more than I do.
Yeah, that was the first trust factor. It came from those who came before us. I had to really believe. I mean, when there's no lying going on, you know what I mean? It was pretty obvious. You look these guys in the eye, they were telling me the truth. They had nothing to hide from me by telling me their experience of sobriety and what good things were happening to them.
Correct.
So what the hell would they have to lie to me about? So I got it from that, and then taking it to the next step. When you're talking about really turning it over, that came from the guys. You're talking about we're running the asylum with me. Right there in the rehab.
Yeah.
And some of them that are still sober today, some of them not. But I remember one in particular. I did my third step with this guy who was a recovering heroin addict, and he came in shaking and baking. I had already been there maybe 30 days or so he was new. In that world, very new. I was 30 days sober. I can call it that. And his story was like this. He had been in a blackout for about 3 months that he thought. And before that, he knows that his wife had committed suicide. And he came and found her, and then he just went off the deep end. Wow. So Kevin and I became very good friends. And one night, it just turned out that we both sat down and did the third step together. And I'll never forget that, and that was where it kind of started to turn it over to somebody else or something else. Maybe it's combined second and third step, just turning my will over and just letting it happen. The process.
I think it's, and part of that process, the way it took place for me was that process happened where, I started to trust the fact that, I had to listen to the people that went before me. And I had to have faith that they had faith.
Yeah.
At the same token, when I made that decision, to turn my will and my life over to the care of a higher power, that higher power for me, because let me tell you something. At the very beginning, me and God weren't seeing eye to eye on anything.
Yeah, well, I'm in the same boat.
You know what I mean? I didn't even want to hear it. You know what I mean? Don't talk to me about it. I don't want to hear it. But at the same time, what they did was they said, whoa, take it easy. Easy does it. You don't have to swallow this whole thing right now. Are you willing to move on to the rest of the steps? Are you willing to make a decision to move forward? So it was that simple. And there's such confusion sometimes around the fact that people need to, have the God experience at 2 and 3 when it's really not even supposed to happen until and it's not even, and it doesn't even have to be a God experience. It has to be a spiritual experience, whatever that is for you.
Yeah.
And that's going to be an individual case when you get to 12 by working the steps and maintaining the steps in your life on a daily basis. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, you said the magic words, which is you got to work through the rest of those steps to get there. And I don't think I was thinking that initially, and I don't remember really struggling too much with it. But what I do remember is that when you mentioned having an issue with God, I had, like you fall in the top 3 category of the 4 step, who I'm pissed off at. We made the top 3. And that's okay, and I had to figure it out, and I had a lot of help with that further on down the line. And, I had been told you can make anything your higher power that you wish, and what I really grasped on was really the power of the group or a group of drunks, a group of other people, and that worked because I was seeing it from both ends, John. I was seeing people that came from before me, and I was hearing their stories. And then when I got to a certain point that, I had been at this facility for, a month, 2 months, whatever it was, then I could see guys coming in, and I wasn't seeing any of this in me, any of the change, but I was able to see it in these guys.
Yeah.
To come in and in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something different, 4 weeks, 2 months, whatever it was, people were changing. And that was right before my eyes. And you just can't deny the truth.
Yeah. So I'm blessed in the fact that I get to be able to see that whole thing unfold in front of me. And I think you're right. We don't see the changes. As you're going through the trials and tribulations of life, and there's certain things that you're going through, and then somebody walks up to you and says, hey, it's amazing where you were. I just went through this, we had this concert this past weekend down here, and it was, we had like close to 3,000 people come through there. And, of course, you have the stages that you're putting, you got the stage you're putting up, you got the sound company that's 2 hours late, you got, you know what I mean? You're going through all of these things, and as I'm standing there, somebody that knew me for years walked up, and they could just see the look on my face, and they walked up, and they said, it beats living under a bridge.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
And that's a big deal.
At that point, you got to laugh. You know what I mean? Because how important is it?
That's the magic thing. How important is it, man? It's in no comparison to where we've been.
Absolutely. How important is it? So where are you at with your music now?
Well, I'm in a real great place. I've been able to shift gears. I haven't been doing as much as the photography as I have in the past several years, and just time-wise, I get so many hours in a day, and I need to do my routine. And now that routine involves some self-discipline on my own, a little bit more practice. Devoted an hour a day to me time for playing, practicing and learning some new stuff.
Wow.
Need to do. And along with that have come the opportunities. I'm doing a lot of different stuff right now. I'm playing a regular gig once a month with this guy by the name of Bobby Kyle, who's a wonderful, talented songwriter, blues musician, has played around and toured for years with the late Johnny Clyde Copeland, Sonny Rhodes, who just passed, and Bobby learned from the best, and I am blessed to be able to play with him on a regular basis. We have a regular gig once a month, and then some spot gigs that pop up here and there. I've got another guy that I've been playing with who's local here to the Pocono region. His name is Chris London, fantastic guitar player, songwriter. I do a regular thing with him with a version of his group called Calico Jack, which is sometimes 4-piece, sometimes 6-piece with some extra horns. And we just got a last-minute spot gig down at Shawnee Resort. That'll be coming up Tuesday, which is the free concert, which is great.
Cool.
And I've been even playing a little jazz, which for me is a challenge. That's what I was taught. And, of course, because I'm an addict and an alcoholic and all-knowing, at the age of 13, told my jazz instructor after he showed me how to play Carmine Apathy's basic rock beat that I no longer needed his services. I went on my way. And, of course, you're not supposed to regret anything, but I do regret that decision because this man was a wonderful and talented jazz drummer, and I could have really, expanded my horizons, and I chose my own direction, which so be it.
Well, here's the good news. The good news is you get to carry that on, and you get to tell somebody that might be getting ready to make that same decision.
Yeah. I talk to a lot of young people and say, don't be closed-minded. Be open-minded. Pick up anything you can from anybody who's willing to teach you, and learn what you can. And this guy had a lot to offer, and I turned him off, and that's okay. I mean, I know that today, and the message is, I got to share that with somebody so they don't make the same mistake. But I'm doing a little bit of that. I just did a gig here at a local jazz club called the Deerhead Inn, which the community is Delaware, Watergate, Pennsylvania, which is well known for some outstanding jazz musicians: Bill Woods, John Coates, Bill Goodwin, all top-notch players in the world of jazz, which I've never really felt a part of because of my background and different styles of music I'm playing. But I'm brushing up, man.
Well,
I'm in there, and I just played a gig last Sunday at the Deerhead with a local singer. Her name is Ronnie Childs, wonderful vocalist, and a keyboard player by the name of Danny Latuca, who I'm blessed to be able to play with people in that fashion. So, but life is good. God has been presenting me with these opportunities. I don't know why. That's just what I'm doing right now, and I'm going to continue to keep doing that. I'm still going to be doing some of the photography. We got a festival coming up, the Hohensteel Roots and Rhythm Festival coming up Father's Day weekend. Mm-hmm. After that will be the Pocono Blues Festival is no longer, but the gentleman who's running that has found another venue. And it will be the 20th anniversary of the festival, but they had to change the name because of the wonderful people that he used to work for. So now it's the Pennsylvania Blues Festival. So it's really going to be the 20th year of the Pocono Blues Festival, called the Pennsylvania Blues Festival, which, for anyone who doesn't know it or hasn't heard about it, one of the best festivals in the country, the Pocono Blues Festival. But it is now the Pennsylvania Blues Festival, the last weekend in July, the 30th and 31st, now at the Blue Mountain ski area versus the Big Boulder ski area.
Well, it's funny, man. I'm going to be up there at that point.
Well, there's some great talent. There's Kenny Neal's going to be there, Magic Slim, John Nemeth, Shamika Copeland, this new woman who I have not seen but have heard so much about, Shakira Saeda, Betty Labette, who I won't say anything and speak for her, but I believe that she is in recovery. I can't validate that, but
yeah. Well, we won't break that anonymity tonight. We'll leave that one alone. But you know something? It seems like you, because when we first started hanging out, you were really geared towards the photography end of it, and you were getting back into the music. But it looks like, man, in the last year, you really took a full swing on the music end of it.
Yeah, it's been that way. It's I did a couple events last year. That was the highlight, certainly being at Crossroads again.
Yeah.
Even though it was a little weird being out there in the middle of the stadium, which is not what I didn't get what I expected. Imagine that. But hey, I did get to meet you and have a great day. So
hey, listen, they fed us pretty well too.
Yeah, it was a good day, man. Yeah. All of that. I was thinking about it the other day. I've been blessed. Yeah. And when I got back from that experience, things kind of changed in the opposite direction, and that's okay. That's one of the beauties of being sober. I don't have to fight anything. I don't have to be disappointed that I'm not doing that anymore. I'm doing something else, which for me is better at the time, and that's okay. I'm cool with it. Believe me.
Well, maybe we can get the camera back in your hands one more time for November 3rd through the 6th for the fourth annual 12-Step Music Fest. The one you were supposed to come down to last year.
Yeah, that date is that date could work because November is not really too bad. I do a little thing where I go out to the West Coast always the end of September into October, and when I get back from that, there's really nothing happening.
And it's getting cold.
As long as I can get permission.
And it's getting cold.
It's getting cold. You got that right. I need to go away somewhere to make it through the winter here. But hey, it's not that bad, man. I love the change of seasons. We have had beautiful weather up here the last several days. So I'm looking right out of my backyard, and I got these beautiful green ferns, a lush green lawn, and
with a little bit of snow left up in the corner.
No snow left, man. It did snow through the end of March, but we got through that. It did pass, John. It did pass.
Well, I didn't. Hey, listen. By looking at the news reports and talking to the different people, Ricky Byrd came down in February to do a show, and he came off the plane February the 11th. We had the show on the 12th, and he was in. It looked like he was like Nanook for the Eskimo.
Yeah, I know that look.
Said, brother, you're in South Florida now. You can strip all that stuff off, and then the next day it dropped 20 degrees. Go figure.
Yeah, it gets cold in Florida too, man. Don't be deceived.
Yeah.
That's almost 10 years down there.
We don't want to tell people that.
Yeah, I learned real quick that there are some cold nights. Be ready, and you have to adapt, man, wherever you're.
Well, here's the amazing part. You know what? When I start to complain that it's 55 degrees out, and it's like 5 in Poughkeepsie, people let me know. Hey, listen, stop complaining. We're gonna have to go out to another break. When we come back, I'm going to finish up with Tony. We're going to get ready for the top of the hour with Christine Ohlman, of course, the singer of the Saturday Night Live Band. And Christine, we're going to talk about the deep end. We're going to talk about other things. We're going to have some fun. Me and Tony have been having a blast here, talking recovery, talking music, talking all kinds of good stuff. Hang with us right here on WWNN 1470 AM and rockersinrecovery.com.
I never was one for the shallow water, never afraid of the dark. Hard to handle this insoluble kind. Take off running when I have to walk, and maybe I should listen.
Let me tell you about the Sound Pillow. Sound Pillow helps many people in early addiction recovery who suffer from stress, anxiety, fear, and long sleepless nights to get a comfortable night's sleep by providing a calming and soothing feeling for the mind's everyday distractions. Sound Pillow allows the mind to shut down, the body to relax, and the spirit to heal. Go online to soundpillow.com. That's soundpillow.com. And while you're there, check out the many endorsements from people and addiction treatment centers using the Sound Pillow. Don't lose another night's sleep. Call toll-free today, 877-846-6488. That's 877-846-6488. And let the healing begin. Go online to soundpillow.com. That's www.soundpillow.com.
My name is Charles Becker. If you or a loved one has been injured in an accident due to the negligence of another, care enough to hire Beckert & Associates to protect your rights. We are an AV-rated law firm and have 45 years of combined experience. We are all former prosecutors and have all worked for the insurance companies, so we know what they're up to. They have their attorneys, and so should you. When involved in an accident, remember, you may be entitled to $10,000 in medical or lost wages under your PIP policy. In addition, you may receive payments for your pain, suffering, or for the suffering of a loved one. Contact us at 954-941-8363 or visit us on the web at southfloridaattorney.com.
The hiring of an attorney is an important decision that should not be based solely upon advertising. Ask for free written information about the firm's qualifications and experience.
Silence calms the mind and rejuvenates the body. God Pillow has been inspiring daily devotions for over 11 years. God Pillows are custom made with love and intention. We encourage you to become part of our community. Come visit God Pillow on the World Wide Web at godpillow.com.
The First Step Sober House of Pompano Beach has been part of the 12-Step community for 14 years, and they've helped thousands of people to recover from addiction and the issues surrounding addiction. First Step Sober House of Pompano Beach is a sober living community built on the 12-step approach. Male or female, you can learn to be responsible again. Their 3 to 6 month intensive sober living house features a compassionate and structured program, and they work with attorneys and the courts. Call the First Step Sober House at Pompano Beach today, 954-942-7414. That's 954-942-7414. Or go online to firststepsoberhouse.com. Remember, if the elevator to your success is broken, you must take the steps. Take the first step today by calling First Step Sober House at Pompano Beach, 954-942-7414. Or go online to firststepsoberhouse.com.
Sends chills up the old spine. It does. And Christine Ohlman, the Beehive Queen, will be here with us in about 10 minutes. And I want to, of course, thank my guest, Tony. Tony, you're the bomb, man. Great guy. And I can't wait to see. I'm going to make it a point to be up in the Poconos up there in Pennsylvania, coming up here at the end of July. And I'm going to be actually, go figure, Tony. You're not going to believe this. Are you sitting down, Tony?
Yeah.
I'm actually going to take 2 weeks off. Everybody in the control room just laughed.
I'll believe that when I see it.
Well, you got to say it, right? You got to say it.
You got to speak it into existence, Tony. Yeah.
If God wants you here, you're going to be here, and I'm sure that He wants you to take 2 weeks off because you need to.
I'm figuring it's one week for every year that I kept going straight. So,
yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? And I'm not talking like straight recovery. I'm talking about like nonstop work.
There's in all directions, man. We pick up other things.
Oh, hey, listen, the good news is we get to have fun with our recovery. We get to have fun, but most importantly, we get to know that this is a serious matter. And there's levity in the fact that we've come from some of the places we've come out of, but to go back there or to think about that as an option in your life today. If you're in that position today, you're in recovery and you're in that position where you're saying to yourself, you know something, a drink might be an idea. Go to a meeting. Try to do something different. Pick up the phone, call your sponsor. If you're sitting right now and you're locked up and you're listening to us, let me tell you, life can change. It can be drastically different than what you're experiencing right now. If you had told me or if you had told Tony, even a couple of years ago or 5 years ago for Tony or 10 years ago for Tony and 5 years ago for me, that my life would have been beyond my wildest dreams, which you did tell me, people did tell me that in the rooms, I'd have said you were crazy. But today I understand it. But there has to be work in it. Nobody's just going to – I don't believe that the 12-step fairy is going to come through and sprinkle dust on you and one day you're just, poof, going to be sober. There has to be some effort in it and on your behalf. But I was told if I put that effort in that it would be beyond my wildest dreams. And I have to put that effort in every day. Would you agree, Tony?
Yeah, it's a daily thing. It's a daily reprieve. What do they say? It's a daily reprieve based on our spiritual condition. And that takes a little work, and it's not anything like that's that painful. I mean, I put myself through a hell of a lot more pain to get out there and do what I needed to do on a daily basis than I ever will have to do in recovery. That's how I feel about it. And start the day, in a positive note. I just ask for a little help, and then I go out and do what I got to do, and hit a meeting, try to help another alcoholic, a recovering addict, when the opportunity presents itself, and it certainly does. And you got to be reminded, man. This thing is devastating. It's not a joke. I joke about it all the time, but read the paper, man. You see, there's turn on TV, read the paper, turn on your computer. Guys passing away. That you would think, how does it happen? And I know how it happens. They didn't get the gift that I did, and maybe they weren't ready for whatever reason to work for it. I don't know. I don't know the answer. My life is beyond my wildest dreams, man. I got something here I want to read, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I have a friend of mine. His name is Tracy, and I met Tracy back in 2004, I think. And I met him at a meeting. Tracy had just gotten out of another treatment facility, and Tracy and I became some pretty good friends. And I've never met Tracy's mother, and I know she's up there in years, and I was supposed to go to a birthday party, and it never happened. And I sent her a little card, and I got something back from her. And it just, message to me doesn't keep me in the game of what I get out of this. I don't know what could. But anyway, this little note here she wrote back to me. Basically, I'm grateful he has such positive friends in his life, referring back to Tracy, and he has always spoken very highly of you and your family. Tracy has not always made the right choices. Who would know that better than Tracy's mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm happy that he has you in his life. I look forward to meeting you soon, perhaps one day this summer. Again, thank you for being a positive light for my son. God bless you. Billy. And, I didn't do anything spectacular to deserve that letter, but it came at a pretty, it came in the mail one day, and I was having a pretty crappy day, and I opened it up, and I read it. Got nothing to complain about, man. I got good things going on in my life. I am able to be available. That's the number one thing I tell myself every day. If I don't pick up a drink, I'm available for whatever it might be. I could be going in November down just to Florida to see my friend John and have a good time. Not if God doesn't have any plans, but it doesn't matter. I know I'm available to do it.
Absolutely, dude.
Wonderful thing.
Well, again, Tony, thank you for being on with us. We're going to have you back soon, and I will hopefully be seeing you very soon also. Again, it's always an honor and a pleasure to have you on my show. And God bless you and your family, and let's talk over the next couple of days just to catch up, too.
All right, John, I appreciate you calling for the opportunity to speak tonight, and you have yourself a good evening. Enjoy that interview, man. I know you're going to have a good one tonight.
Christine's the bomb. We're going to have a blast. Tell your friends to go buy her CD, too, for me, will you?
Of course. I always have to support the musicians, man. That's a key thing.
There you go.
All right, John.
Thank you,
Take
brother.
care. You guys have a good night, and I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Thank you, man.
Okay, bye-bye.
It's my boy Tony. We're out. We're going to be back here in about 7 minutes with Christine Ohlman, the Beehive Queen. We'll be back right after this message.
I got a secret, baby, that I shouldn't tell. I may get better, but I'll never get well. I went to the doctor, and the doctor said, you got to drive that boy right out of your head. Now I'm walking on the back street crying to myself. The love motion in my veins, I can't help myself. I feel you like a need growing under my skin. I need a kiss on my medicine. You're kind of like poison in a pretty colored bottle, like a runaway train with a wide open throttle. Your chemical reaction, a hurry through your. It ain't satisfaction and there ain't no cure. I got a dedicated heart.
there's nothing I can do about it. A true fine thing, and there's no way I can live without it. You both fell on me, that's blacker than a cat, and a baby, I like it like that. It's kind of like poison in a critical bottle.
It's the hottest new addiction recovery mega community on the web, Rockers in Recovery. Music, news, interviews, events, and festivals with an insider's angle to the rock and roll industry, all backed up by artists who are in recovery and support recovery, featuring dozens of rock legends like former Joan Jett and the Blackhearts lead guitarist Ricky Byrd, Richie Supa of Aerosmith, and tons more. It's a worldwide music and media festival at your fingertips. Get inside the rock and roll recovery scene with a click of your mouse. Click rockersinrecovery.com. That's rockersinrecovery.com.
The First Step Sober House of Pompano Beach has been part of the 12-Step community for 14 years, and they've helped thousands of people to recover from addiction and the issues surrounding addiction. First Step Sober House of Pompano Beach is a sober living community built on the 12-step approach. Male or female, you can learn to be responsible again. Their 3 to 6 month intensive sober living house features a compassionate and structured program, and they work with attorneys and the courts. Call the First Step Sober House of Pompano Beach today, 954-942-7414. That's 954-942-7414. Or go online to firststepsoberhouse.com. Remember, if the elevator to your success is broken, you must take the steps. Take the first step today by calling First Step Sober House of Pompano Beach, 954-942-7414. Or go online to firststepsoberhouse.com. Let me tell you about the Sound Pillow. Sound Pillow helps many people in early addiction recovery who suffer from stress, anxiety, fear, and long sleepless nights to get a comfortable night's sleep by providing a calming and soothing feeling for the mind's everyday distractions. Sound Pillow allows the mind to shut down, the body to relax, and the spirit to heal. Go online to soundpillow.com. That's soundpillow.com. And while you're there, check out the many endorsements from people and addiction treatment centers using the Sound Pillow. Don't lose another night's sleep. Call toll-free today, 877-846-6488. That's 877-846-6488. And let the healing begin. Go online to soundpillow.com. That's www.soundpillow.com.
Here's hoping you're healthy and wealthy. South Florida's Health and Wealth Radio Network, AM 1470, WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Steve Kane with the Sanctuary Medical Minute. I'm sitting talking here with Josie. You originally sought help because of a hysterectomy that you had early in life.
Yeah, and I went on every kind of medication, patch, injection that you can imagine, and nothing worked. The largest difference that this has made for me in my life has been that Dr. Lopez honestly helped me find that woman that I had left behind when I had my hysterectomy that I thought I had lost. And after 6 years of being on the hormonal therapy now, I can look in the mirror and see that that person is back, and she's just better than ever.
Ladies and men, too, if you're out there having these change-of-life symptoms, check in with Sanctuary Medical. Call them at 561 area code 886-0974. Or you can contact them on the web at smacboca.com.
Twin Maine Lobsters, only $21.95. Hi, I'm Jack Studiali. My family owns Tropical Acres, a classic American steakhouse. Once again, offering our Twin Maine Lobsters for $21.95, Monday through Friday, all evening. Tropical Acres Steakhouse, located on Griffin Road, half a mile west of I-95. Check us out at tropicalacres.com. Treat yourself to the long-awaited return of our Maine Lobster Special. 2 one-pounders, only $21.95. Come on in and experience the secret of our success. Tropical Acres Steakhouse, over 62 years and still going strong.
This is Steve Kane for Laytide Roofing. For most of us who are homeowners, our house is perhaps our most valuable and important asset. And there is nothing that's more of a threat to that asset than Florida's rainy season. And let's face it, folks, rainy season is upon us. Look at your ceilings. Look at your walls. If you see water stains, the time has come for you to pick up the phone and dial 1-800-NEW-ROOF. Speak to the good folks at Laytide Roofing. Since 1943, the professionals at Laytide have been successfully servicing the roofing needs of South Floridians. Why has Laytide been so successful through the years? It's simple. It's that they use the finest materials and they never, ever use subcontractors. That means when you call 1-800-NEW-ROOF, you know that only experienced Laytide employees will be working on your roof from start to finish, assuring the highest quality results. No wonder Laytide Roofing is the largest and most successful roofing company in South Florida. Remember, your roof is only as strong as your weakest tile or shingle. So call Laytide at 1-800-NEW-ROOF or go to their website at Laytide, that's LATITE.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
This is Lori Kane. As a mother, I've always made sure that at least twice a year I take my kids for checkups with our dentist, Dr. Gorfine, or as they call him, Dr. Joe. Yet at the same time I was looking out for my kids' teeth, I was neglecting my own, going years without a dental exam. Predictably, I was starting to have problems. I knew I should make an appointment with Dr. Gorfine, but I was embarrassed. Dr. Gorfine told me that was being ridiculous. That's what he's there for. He put me right at ease. My exam revealed that I was in need of a 4-crown bridge. Most dentists charge up to $1,250 per crown, and I needed 4 crowns. That's $5,000. But Dr. Gorfine guarantees the lowest price on all procedures. He charged me only a small fraction of that amount. The moral of this story is don't neglect your dental health. But if you do, call Dr. Gorfine at 954-742-0201. That's 954-742-0201.
The Steve Kane Show comes to you live from the Adams World Radio Studios, home of AdCop medical coverages. For all your health insurance needs, call 954-345-1212.
The opinions expressed on this sponsored program are strictly those of its host, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. On AM 1470 WNA, it's the Steve Kane Show, brought to you by AdCop Apple. To join the discussion, call toll-free 1-877-275-2326. Now, Steve Kane.
All right, good Friday morning to everyone out there. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show's Friday morning edition. It's June 3rd, 2011. And, man, I'm just making a note here of something I don't want to forget to talk about. Okay. We do have a lot to talk about. Now, our Internet audio streaming is back up and running. I just checked it out, and I don't know if it's just me or not, because I don't listen to the show when it's on live, right? I'm here. And I don't listen to the Internet audio stream. If I do tune in when I'm on my way to work in the morning to the overnight rebroadcast on the radio and at the Internet. But the audio streaming not only is back online, you can go to SteveKaneShow.com, listen on Live Link. It seems to be better sound quality to me. I don't know. Some of the computer equipment had burned out up at the radio station, and they replaced the equipment, and it is back up and running. And I know for the past couple of weeks it's been in and out and really not working for about a week from what I'm hearing. And we have gotten so many emails from people, a lot of them, most of them local, but a lot of them from around the country, around the world, of people that listen on the Internet. A lot of New Yorkers, too, I noticed. And I could not believe the number of emails we have received from people that listen to the Steve Kane radio show on their computer, wherever it is that they are, instead of the radio. And I was going over some of these emails with Steve yesterday, and he says, "My Lord, why are we even on the radio? Do we have how big is the audience that listens online?" Well, I don't know, because we don't have access to see the number of listeners to it, but man, there are a lot of you. And I had mentioned early on the show yesterday, I want to bring it up again. Bill Lewis and I were talking yesterday, and he has some contacts in this area. We'll find out what would be involved and if it would be worth our time. But Wow, yeah, I just got a text from Bill Lewis. That's hard to believe, Bill, what you said. Bill Lewis and I were talking yesterday about starting up, in addition to our radio show here, the Steve Kane Show, Bill Lewis's program, an internet radio station. And I got a lot of email about that, too, from people yesterday that would be interested. But our internet audio streaming listeners, since you're back today, and for the overnight over the weekend, I'd really like to hear some feedback from you. Through email. You can just shoot me an email. And I bring this up today because this airs, I don't know how many times, overnights throughout the weekend. The Friday morning show, live show airs, 3 times after this, all weekend long. And I really want to hear some feedback from you. Bill Lewis is very interested in this. I've been interested in doing this for a long time. And Steve's interested in it, but he needs to know that there's enough interest in it for him to take the time out to get involved in it. But Bill Lewis and I were talking about starting an internet radio station that would be in addition to the regular radio shows. Okay, it wouldn't replace what we're doing on the radio, but it would make the show, not just this show, it would make Bill Lewis's show too, available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Everything would be archived and podcast and all that business. And starting up an internet radio station, think about it. We could bring in more talent. We could bring in more hosts that wouldn't be on the radio but would be on the internet station. And there are some internet radio. You know, George Rodriguez, that was Neil Rogers' longtime producer, does it. And we were over there, actually, the beginning of the year. George had Steve and Craig Worthing on his internet radio show, and they've been doing it, I don't know for how long. How long has George been doing it? A couple of years now? I don't know, with some pretty good success, apparently. And, you know, things are changing. And, I'm always looking for something new and exciting to get involved in, right? Like we have our great YouTube channel. We had the Steve Kane TV show for 5 years, and because it was a cable access show, not a lot of people could see it for all kinds of reasons. And the number of people viewing the Steve Kane TV show now on the Steve Kane YouTube channel is great. And we have a great guy, Paul Rogers, who's I don't know what to call you, Paul, a videographer, I don't know, but he's a professional guy, and he's taken a few steps down to help us out because he's a fan to put these old Steve Kane TV shows up on the YouTube channel, which is great. And I'm always looking for a new project, something fun, something to get in, things more interesting for me and my job. And setting up an internet radio station that, again, would be an addition to the radio show. But I tell you, I brought this up yesterday. People, what do you mean, you're going off the radio? No, it's where the money is, man. Steve and I, our primary function in life is to make a living and support our families. And luckily, Steve and Adam Klatzoff here at Adam's World have maintained this very profitable radio program, the Steve Kane Show, for years and years here on this radio station, so we're not going anywhere. But to me, it'd be a lot of fun to put together an internet radio station and bring in some new hosts or some old. You know who if we were putting together an internet radio station, we would need some people to do the shows, right? I mean, it wouldn't just be us. It wouldn't just be Bill Lewis. It wouldn't just be Steve Kane and me. I could see giving Greg a show. couldn't you? It'd be great. Wouldn't you like to hear Greg do a show? It'd be nice. Get Greg a show, bring back some of the old crew that you may remember, give them some shows. It'd be a lot of fun. I think it'd be very exciting. The problem is, I've been talking to Steve about doing this for quite some time, a couple of years. And actually, we've been approached on more than one occasion by people that were interested in Internet radio. And Internet radio by itself, it's not really going to pick up yet, not with today's technology. But if you have a radio show and a built-in audience already to build upon with it, you can have a lot of fun with it, and I don't know, hopefully make some money. We don't like to do things for free that take valuable time, but it would be a lot of fun, and getting involved in bringing in some hosts and having some other shows would be great, and I think a lot of you out there would be interested in doing it. So to get Steve on board with this, I need to hear from people. I have to be able to show him that it is worth his time, that you all are interested in doing this. You would be listening to it. So our overnight people, our Internet audio streaming people, send me your emails, let me know. And I don't know, what would we call the Internet radio station? I don't know. What could we call it? I mean, it would, of course, have to center around Steve because Steve's the big star and the big name around here. So it'd have to be mostly about him. I don't know what we would call it, but we'd think of something good. So that's my idea. I don't know. I just work here. I don't make the rules, but yeah, right. Bill, you're sending me text messages crazy, like teenage girls here. You can call me. We do, take calls on the air, off the air. We can talk. I'm not big into the texting. I know a lot of people are, but that's just not me. So anyway, that's just an idea. Give me your feedback because I need to show Steve that you are interested in doing it. And if we did an Internet radio station, our participation would be doing the live show, right? I mean, the live show that we do here each morning would be our part of the Internet radio station, and Bill Lewis comes up at 9. He would obviously be on from 9 to 10 after that, and then our shows would be archived and podcast, available 24/7 and all of that. So, and I'm thinking Greg. I think Greg would probably be on there. I don't know who else from the old crew of people. Is there anybody from the past that you would want us to bring back? I don't know. Give me all this feedback. Let me know. We need a liberal, too. We'd have to find a liberal to do it. Yeah, I know. There's not a lot of good liberal talent out there, but we'd find someone. All right, so that's that. After the first break today, we'll start to get into some of the issues. There are a lot of issues to talk about, as always, on this program. The transvestite prom queen from McFadder High School in Davie is in the news again, and we're going to hear from him, Andrew, the transvestite, in the Sun Sentinel today, and we have some audio of that. Also, Anthony Weiner called the cops. His office called the cops on a CBS reporter. We'll play you some of that. We'll talk about it. And, part of what we're seeing with Anthony Weiner, the reaction to it, the lack of reaction to it, it's the Clinton legacy, and it's the lowering the bar of what is morally acceptable in America. We'll talk a little bit about that. We have a guest scheduled in the 8 o'clock hour that we have not had on this show since Barack Obama has been the President of the United States. And I'm not going to tell you who this is, but when you hear them on the program later today, you'll be very interested in talking with them and hearing what this person has to say. We'll get into that and a whole bunch more. All right, we'll take our break. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show. Our number, 1-877-ASK-ADAM, 1-877-275-2326. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
When our AC system broke down last summer, we were lucky to have a neighbor in the air conditioning business. Bill Thomas AC and Heating, 50 years, family-owned and operated, and always reliable. Bill was at my house in no time. The problem, he said, was with my coils. They were clogged with dirt and algae. Phil explained that an AC system is like a car. If you want it to run effectively, you have to have it cleaned and serviced periodically. Phil removed the coils, gave them a professional acid wash, and then tuned up the entire unit. When he was done, it was blowing ice-cold air. In fact, 75% of the service calls performed by Phil Thomas AC and Heating are completed on the initial visit at an average cost of under $100. I recommend you call Phil Thomas AC and Heating. He's honest. He will never sell you an AC unit that you don't need, and his prices are always fair. In fact, if you live anywhere in Broward or Palm Beach, you too have a neighbor in the air conditioning business just like me. Phil Thomas AC and Heating. Call 954-434-4576. That's 954-434-4576. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Visit the Steve Kane website at stevekaneshow.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mitchell Mataz. Many of you have heard me speak about the problems women experience in menopause. But did you know there is a male equivalent? It's called andropause. Both menopause and andropause are caused by the same thing, hormonal decline and imbalance. If you're suffering from a lack of energy, decreasing sexual desire and performance, weight gain, moodiness, or anxiety, hormone replacement therapy will change your life. The simple, safe, and effective strategy of replacing testosterone can eliminate all of your symptoms and give you back that youthful vigor and energy that you lack. Call me, Dr. Mitchell Mataz, at Sanctuary Medical, 561-886-0974. That's 561-886-0974. Ask for Cheryl and tell her you heard it on the Steve Kane Show.
May 15th, 2002, a day I'll always remember. That's the day I had LASIK vision correction with Dr. Ray Gailitas. Before LASIK, my vision was 2400, legally blind. My contact lenses had been a pain. I couldn't wear them while swimming, even with my contacts. My vision was far from perfect because of my astigmatism. Still, I didn't have LASIK because I feared it was a painful surgical procedure with a long, drawn-out recovery. But listening to Steve and Lori speak day after day about their successful LASIK experience, no pain, no discomfort, and no downtime, I finally realized there was nothing to fear. I had the procedure in the evening. It took a few minutes per eye. As soon as it was over, I could see perfectly. LASIK even corrected my astigmatism, and I was back to work the next morning. Dr. Gailitas is one of the top LASIK specialists in the world who has performed over 6,000 procedures. He is a doctor you can trust. Call 1-800-736-8558 or visit him on the web, bestvision.com.
The Steve Kane Show is live every day from 6 till 9 a.m. on AM 1470 WNN. Call Steve now at 1-877-275-2326. And now, more Steve Kane.
All right, and we're back 18 minutes after the hour. My name's Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, broadcasting live from the Adams World Studios, located on the first floor of the AdCop Medical Coverage's campus building here in Coral Springs. Good morning. And, oh, yeah, man, just the age of Obama. Unemployment high, housing prices dropping, businesses closing. But the one industry that is booming, other than government, that's not really a business, but the one business that is booming, that is issue-oriented conservative talk radio. Because every day this guy gives us a wealth of material to talk about, and you look at what's going on in the economy. I mean, think about it. I'm not a businessman, but I work for business people, and I appreciate what business people do. Business people, their goal, of course, is to support themselves, make a living, and make a profit. That's the goal. But they risk everything every day. If you're a businessman, everything you have every day is on the line, and it's I can't imagine the stresses of that, especially in this economy. And you look at the economy, the things that are going on in the economy. I'm no economist, I'm no expert, but I see the world around me, and I know what's going on. And and anyone who works for a living, unless you're independently wealthy, no matter how much or how little you make, you still have, you have an expense list of things to support your family, support your household, and you have a budget of sorts. And prices are rising. Unemployment is rising. Those of us that are homeowners, our homes are worth a lot less. I'm lucky. I'm very lucky that I bought my home 7 years ago that I'm in now, before the prices started to skyrocket. So I'm not upside down like a lot of people are. You know, I've seen families on my street foreclosed on, escorted out by sheriff's deputies. The humiliation and the loss, you put everything you have into a house, it's gone, And I hear this endless talk about raising the debt ceiling, which is really an absurd thought, isn't it? It really is an absurd thought, raising the debt ceiling. Now, whether or not they raise the debt ceiling and even cut government spending, the real issue is the taxes and the government regulation. And you see what's going on in this country with the high unemployment rate. Unemployment numbers coming out today, I don't know what they're going to be. Are they going to be what was projected? Are they going to be more or less? So many people, for however reason, have stop looking for work. I keep reading and hearing in the news. I don't know how people could stop looking for work. If I was out of work, I'd have to find something. Because I got a family. We've got to eat. We've got bills. But people have stopped looking for work. They're falling off the rolls, which is the unemployment rolls, which is having an impact on the numbers. And there's all kinds of funny math going on in these unemployment numbers. But can you honestly tell me, in this audience, can you honestly tell me that Barack Obama and the Democrat Party are doing anything that is going to bring the economy back to where it should be, which is lower unemployment and people that are in this country working for a living, being able to afford a comfortable lifestyle without sacrifice, worry, and stress? If they don't reduce our tax burden, if they don't reduce government regulations, whatever they do with the debt ceiling is going to have no impact. Whatever they do so far as reducing government spending is going to have zero impact on the economy, really, if they don't lessen regulation and taxes. Barack Obama told Democrats yesterday he's not going to renew the Bush tax cuts in 2012. Yeah, great. Screw you, too. Oh, you guys, the party of the rich. You kidding me? The rich will always be rich. They're rich because they know how to make money. The rich as a group, not everyone's always going to be rich. People, have ups and downs, but also wealthy people have all kinds of ways to maintain their lifestyle. The rich are always going to be rich. All right? Whatever expenses the government passes on to them in the form of taxes, they're going to find a way to pass it down, whether they have to lay people off, they have to raise the prices of their goods or services, whatever it is. I mean, that's what they do, and they should. It's a capitalist system. But this government is getting in the way of us getting ourselves out of an economic recession. That, economic downturns, again, I'm no economist, but come on, do you have to be an economist from some think tank in Washington to understand what is going on in the world around you? I was talking on Tuesday. We went out of town. My wife's family has a house up in Stewart. We were up there for Memorial Day weekend, and I filled the car up in Stewart, and the gas was 20 cents cheaper a gallon than it is at the gas station down the street from my house. In Boca, I paid $3.73 for a gallon of gas. And I was like, oh, great, we're getting a deal. And then I filled up the car, and I said, my gosh, we think we're getting a deal with $3.73 a gallon. Can you imagine? That's Obama's America. At $3.73 a gallon, you're getting a deal? Are you kidding me? It's not all Obama's fault, not all Democrats' fault. We have a lot of problems with these Republican in name only in Washington, D.C., but at least the conservatives in Washington are being pushed by the Tea Party around this country to be strong to their conservative values. I was listening to some of the libs yesterday, and they were talking about Mitt Romney. And Mitt Romney, they say, I don't know, but they say that Mitt Romney was moderate in their mind. But you can no longer be moderate in the Republican Party and be a electable candidate. You have to be ultra-conservative, damn straight. And there are a lot of issues out there in the past that were important to conservatives: abortion, gay rights, gay marriage, things like this. Those issues, it's not that they're not important, they're just much less important than they used to be. We need very strong conservative people in Washington, D.C. to get this economy back on track. And anyone that works outside of government and works at a small business of varying sizes, you know what is going on in this country, in this economy. Drive around and look at the empty strip centers. Obama doesn't care about that. Don't you understand? The left believe in this country, led by Barack Obama, the Marxist left that's running this country today believe that we're too fat. I don't mean just our waistline that Michelle Obama is obsessing with. They think we live too high on the hog. There was a story yesterday, Obama's Solicitor General. He was in a court somewhere. They're talking about the insurance mandate under Obamacare. And he says, well, if you don't want to have to do it, make less money so you're exempt from buying. Now, throughout my life, and I think many of your lives, we've considered the United States to be the strongest country militarily and economically in the country, and we still are the number one economy in the world. But it's I don't know how we've maintained it. Liberalism. Liberalism is in a phase right now in this country, whether it is either going to be the way of the land or it's going to be destroyed. Modern day liberalism, and maybe it was this way during FDR's time. FDR was dealing with different issues than we're dealing today. A larger percentage of the population out of work, although there were a lot less in this country at the time. So there are probably more people actually out of work today than in FDR's time. I don't know. I haven't seen the numbers break down on that. But we have, 3 times as many people in America as we had in the 30s. But liberalism today is a communist ideology. It's a communist philosophy. The government should have its hand in everything. Government is the solution to everything, and that's just not the way it is. If anything is inefficient, it's the government. That's just the way it is. The government, by its nature, is inefficient. This what seems like a minor story with Chris Christie taking the ride on the helicopter, which he's paying back, okay? Chris Christie took a ride on a helicopter to go to his son's ball game, and I've heard several accounts and different analysis of this, and he's reimbursing the state. A caller called us at the end of the show yesterday and said, well, he just hitched a ride on a helicopter that was going there anyway. I don't know. But it's an example of the waste in government. Government is so wasteful. I see government waste. Give an example on it. And this happens everywhere, right? In my neighborhood, I'll just give you an example. In my neighborhood, about 2 years ago, they shut down the public library. Okay, there's one on Glades Road. They shut down the public library because they built a new one about a mile away, mile and a half away maybe, right? And I read a lot. I don't go to the library too much. I do most of my, I buy books a lot. I do a lot of book downloads on the iPad. My wife and I, we do a lot of reading. But I use the library sometimes. And it was a nice library, and it's great, So they built they closed down the old library because they opened up a new one a mile and a half away in Boca. It's near Yamada Road and 441. Well, 6 months, a year after it opened, they reopened the one they closed down. We have 2 public libraries within a mile and a half, 2 miles of each other at the most. 2 public libraries. What does it cost? You know, I was listening to Joyce the other day, Joyce Kaufman. She was talking about, the government just, they don't care. They have money, they spend it. I heard Joyce talking about something that I've taken notice of. You drive the turnpike here in Broward County, the Rest Plaza, the Sample Road Rest Plaza, where where you stop for gas and restaurants, they tore the whole building down and they're rebuilding it. All right, you've seen this? They just remodeled that place within the last year or two. The entire Rest Plaza, they moved out all the old restaurants, and they moved in new restaurants. Like they had a Starbucks, they replaced it with a Dunkin' Donuts. They remodeled the whole thing. Now here we are a year or two later. They leveled the building, and they're rebuilding it. Why? Because it's the government. They got the money. It's busy work. Now, and how much does it cost to build a new building, a new Rest Plaza that is already there and doesn't need rebuild? I'm sure millions of dollars. And they don't seem to be in any hurry to get the work done because these guys are paid by the hour. It's government work. You know, everywhere government is involved, it's inefficient. They tear down a perfectly good building like the Rest Plaza on the Turnpike. I know people say, oh, you're talking about the Turnpike Rest Plaza. No, it's not about the Turnpike Rest Plaza. It's about the philosophy of the government of the United States. And I guess the toll plaza, that's the state of Florida. So, you know, state of Florida is run by pretty conservative guys. I don't know who was involved in this decision, but that's government for you. Perfectly good building that was recently remodeled, by the way. They just level it and rebuild it. Why? Because profit is not their motive. They have no bottom line. They're the government. They have unlimited amounts of money. That's how government operates. Everything, if the government has the money, they'll spend it. If they have $1, they'll spend $1.50. I mean, this all goes on locally. And I was thinking, you know, because this Turnpike rest stop, that's a state of Florida issue, but they've had all these layoffs of school teachers in Broward County, which is an absurdity. Well, I'll talk about this after the break, because I don't want to get behind on our break schedule here, but it's about 32 minutes after the hour. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, the longest-running local radio show in the South Florida radio market. That's right, broadcasting from the Adams World Studios in Coral Springs. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
Visit the Steve Kane website at stevekaneshow.com.
Do you have diabetes? If so, pay attention, because there's a great new product you need to know about. It's called Restore Energy, and it's the only energy formula specifically designed for people with diabetes. Restore Energy is a totally unique Mega B vitamin formula. Your doctor is going to love it too, because there's no sugar, no caffeine, no calories, and low carbs. And guess what? It tastes great. I have at least one Restore Energy before my show each morning, and it keeps me sharp throughout the day. If you have diabetes, you know how tough it can be just getting through your day. Well, Restore Energy helps you beat fatigue and feel energized. If you want to be an energetic diabetic, try Restore Energy, the Diabetes Energy Formula. Restore Energy is available at Winn-Dixie, Kmart, and online at energeticdiabetic.com.
Hi there, it's Nelson Locke, and I want to talk to you about a way to reduce your stress and improve the quality of your retirement. Listen, you know we all worry about money, but you've also heard Steve and I talk for years about a special home equity plan for senior homeowners that will pay off your existing mortgage and get rid of that pesky payment. And this will be for as long as you live in the home. If you have equity, the plan works great. So why are you waiting? You should call us today. But if you're at a break-even because of this tough economy and you've been wondering if it would work for you, you can still get rid of that payment and make your house foreclosure-proof in the process. Now, for those of you who think you're upside down and maybe you owe more than your house is worth, we know what to do, and you should call us immediately. The number is 1-800-760-5363. That's 1-800-760-5363. Listen, why worry when you can sleep really sound tonight after one quick phone call to Value Financial? 1-800-760-5363. Call today, change your tomorrow.
This is Steve Kane for Laytide Roofing. For most of us who are homeowners, our house is perhaps our most valuable and important asset. And there is nothing that's more of a threat to that asset than Florida's rainy season. And let's face it, folks, rainy season is upon us. Look at your ceilings. Look at your walls. If you see water stains, the time has come for you to pick up the phone and dial 1-800-NEW-ROOF. Speak to the good folks at Laytide Roofing. Since 1943, the professionals at Laytide have been successfully servicing the roofing needs of South Floridians. Why has Laytide been so successful through the years? It's simple. It's that they use the finest materials and they never, ever use subcontractors. That means when you call 1-800-NEW-ROOF, you know that only experienced Laytide employees will be working on your roof from start to finish, assuring the highest quality results. No wonder Laytide Roofing is the largest and most successful roofing company in South Florida. Remember, your roof is only as strong as your weakest tile or shingle. So call Laytide at 1-800-NEW-ROOF or go to their website at Laytide, that's LATITE.com. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
The Steve Kane Show is live every day from 6 till 9 a.m. on AM 1470 WNN. Call Steve now at 1-877-275-2326. And now, more Steve Kane.
All right, welcome back. 36 minutes after the hour. Brian Craig back here with you on the Friday morning edition of the Steve Kane Radio Show. Yeah, so I was talking about, just government's out of control. There's always talk about the debt ceiling, and we're following what happens in Washington like it's a freaking NBA playoffs. And people's lives are being affected here. And I was talking about just how government's wasteful, and you see it in your own community. And I was just talking about, before the break, on the Turnpike, the Sample Road Rest Plaza, they just leveled the building a while back, and I guess they're rebuilding the entire plaza. And I go to that plaza a lot. I drive the Turnpike pretty often, and I stop in there because, I like Dunkin' Donuts. They have a Dunkin' Donuts in there. And I also, they used to have a Church's Chicken, which they moved out, and I think they replaced it with a BK. But I used to stop in there just to eat lunch sometimes at that Turnpike. They call it Snapper Creek. I'm not sure what they call the Sample Road Turnpike rest stop. But they just remodeled it within the last couple of years and put in new restaurants. And it was a fine place. They leveled the building. That's how government operates. Perfectly good building. They level it and rebuild a building that didn't need to be rebuilt. Why? Because the government is inefficient. And there has been this story, which I know a lot of you have heard about, in Broward County, where they gave pink slips to, 1,200 teachers, 1,400 teachers, or whatever. And a big chunk of those teachers are going to be hired back. The way it works, okay? By the way, no layoffs in Dade or Palm Beach County teachers. The way it works, at the end of the school year, you are told what you're going to be teaching next year at the school. They didn't do that this year. They didn't do it last year either. And one of the reasons they're doing it is they want to wind to Tallahassee to get some more money sent down this way. But the amount of money that is wasted just on this school, every government entity, from your local city to the state, the county to the state, to the federal government, they just blow the money. Blow the money. This is why the country is in the economic situation it is. It's because the size of government at every level is huge with waste everywhere. Years ago, some of you may remember Steve Kane and I were on the Broward County School Board Diversity Committee. It's an appointment that you get by a school board member. Steve was appointed by Barney Rubenstein. I was appointed by Darla Carter, and we were on that diversity committee for a couple of years. And I remember once there was, I'm not going to relive the whole GLSEN issue, but you may be aware of Steve's battle with the Gay, Lesbian, Straight Education Network in the public schools. And it was a battle that we really won. The Gay, Lesbian, Straight Education Network lost their ability to openly operate in the Broward County schools. And then there was a little tiny news clipping in the paper. Steve saw it. This is when we were on the diversity committee for the Broward County School Board, that a diversity SpongeBob video was shown at a Wilton Manors Elementary School. And we did a little research on our own there and found out that it was GLSEN. GLSEN had gone into the school, even though they weren't supposed to, and showed a diversity video that included SpongeBob to this kindergarten classroom, and they were so excited they called up their friends at the Sun Sentinel and alerted the public by having this little tiny story in the Sun Sentinel. So being on the diversity committee, you have the right to see materials that are used in the school. So I called up the diversity committee office and said, hey, I'm Brian Craig. I'm on the diversity committee. Can I come down to the school board and take a look at that SpongeBob video? They said, sure, come on down. I had to make an appointment a day or two later. I go down there, and what I figured is I was going to go up to the diversity office. They would hand me the video and sit me down in front of a television to watch it at the office. That's not what happened at all. They brought me into a meeting with 3, maybe 4, it's been a few years, 3 or 4 PhDs working for the school board. And of course all of them are making, if they don't make 6 figures, they make in the high 5s, right, each of them. And I'm thinking, my gosh, how many PhDs do they have making 80, 90, 100 grand here at the school board? How many layers of waste are there in this government entity? That's just the way government, by its nature, is inefficient and wasteful and not thrifty in any way, shape, or form. So and this issue in Wisconsin, when I heard Rush Limbaugh come up with this great phrase to describe the public sector union battle in Wisconsin, which isn't just Wisconsin, this is a nationwide problem, including Florida. You know, even though we're a right-to-work state, unions aren't as strong. And all it means in a right-to-work state, unions are not outlawed. It's America. You can freely associate. The difference between a right-to-work state like Florida and these strong union states around the country in the Northeast is that in Florida, because it's right to work, you can work without having to join the union. It means right to work without having to be a member of the union. I can be an electrician and work as an electrician without joining the electricians union, for example. That's all it means. But Rush Limbaugh came up during the Wisconsin public union debate that went on a couple of months back. It's wealth redistribution from the haves to the have-mores. And what you have middle-class people that certainly many of them are struggling in this economy that we're in, paying taxes so people can have an upper-class lifestyle. You have people that are making $35,000, $40,000 a year being forced to pay taxes for people that work 9 months a year, but those people make 70, 80, 90 grand. I got 2 members of my family. I'd forgotten about this until the whole family got together for Memorial Day weekend. I have a couple members of my family that are retired from the Wisconsin school system. Both of them, teachers from Wisconsin, and I'm here to tell you they live a very high-on-the-hog lifestyle. God bless them. They put their time in. But the age of wealth redistribution so people can maintain these huge lifelong salaries, which are what these pensions are, and full health care benefits, the country can't afford it. There's government waste at every level. At every level. And I'll tell you, Adam told me that I'm a libertarian now, because of getting away from these social issues and getting involved in the real conservative issues. And I am a libertarian. Ronald Reagan was a libertarian. Right? And that's right on the money. We in the conservative movement today, the Tea Party, we're not a bunch. I know they're calling us Puritans lately on MSNBC, Puritans over this Wiener issue, but we're strong, fiscally conservative libertarians because we see ourselves facing a tax burden that's trickled down to us when businesses and wealthier people are taxed, and our own personal tax burden. It's wealth redistribution to people who either don't work, right, or retire when they're 50 years old, 55 years old. Remember this story a couple weeks ago about the lifeguards out in Long Beach making over $100,000 a year? They had lifeguards making over $100,000 a year. A lifeguard? Are you kidding me? and they retire at age 50, 52 with full health benefits for the rest of their lives and 80-some-odd% of their salary. I mean, my Lord. This talk with the Medicare debate. Medicare is another thing that's out of control. And all Ryan is talking about, he's talking about a few things, but one of the things is to slowly grandfather in some changes. No one over the age of 55 will be affected by anything that's being proposed. But to slowly grandfather, you can't make these changes right off the bat because the country is so socialized with these entitlement programs. You can't just say, okay, this is the new Medicare rule. You're 63 years old. Sorry, you're out of luck. So they're going to slowly grandfather in some minor changes, because the country can, in the economic situation we are in, can no longer afford the incredible amounts of waste in the government. All right, we'll take our break, last break of this hour. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show. That's right. Here every weekday morning from 6 until 9 a.m. on AM 1470. And, of course, you can listen to us live online at SteveKaneShow.com, Kane with a K, K-A-N-E. The online audio streaming is back up and running, so go and listen to us on the Internet now. All right, we'll take our break. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere.
Call Steve Kane, toll free at 1-877-275-2326.
This is Steve Kane. I'm here with Lowell Richard of AdCobb Medical Coverages, talking to you employers out there who are spending far too much on your health coverage. Lowell?
Hey, good morning, Steve. I want to talk to employers about one of the hottest concepts in the health insurance business these days. That's called defined contribution. I'll tell you, trying to pick a plan that fits everybody's needs, gives them the benefits they want, the budgets, the options they want, it just can't be done with traditional group insurance these days. But there is another way. Defined contribution. Give the employees an allowance and let them buy what they want. People think that group insurance is less expensive than individual insurance, but that's a myth. Okay, the fact is that individual insurance in many cases is half the price of group insurance. So let the employees go out and buy what they want. Just the other day, I got a call from a small employer, 19 employees. Implementing this strategy, I was able to save him $38,000 just this year. And guess what? He's happy. He's out of the insurance business forever. Okay. Plus, the employees had plans that they wanted. Plus, they had extra benefits such as dental and life insurance, all with substantial savings. It's that simple.
Well, it's as simple as calling Lowell here at AdCobb, 954-345-1212. 954-345-1212. You'll save a lot of money.
Hi, I'm Phil Thomas of Phil Thomas AC and Heating. The hot Florida weather is here, and it's only going to get hotter as the weeks go by. If your AC is not cooling very well, if it's making a lot of noise, or if it's dripping water, you probably need an AC tune-up. But here's the good news. A simple AC tune-up from Phil Thomas AC can be done on the first visit at a cost of under $100, and will have your AC unit running like the day it was first installed. When your AC breaks down, time is of the essence. You don't want to spend a single sleepless night baking in a home that's as hot as an oven. But don't worry. Just call Phil Thomas AC. In almost every case, we will fix your AC the same day, assuring you a cool, restful night. And oh yes, most important of all, Phil Thomas AC, family-owned and operated for over 50 years, and you can trust we will never sell you an AC unit that you don't need. Call me at 954-434-4576. That's 954-434-4576. Be sure and tell them Steve sent you.
This is Steve Kane with an important message for diabetic patients. Medicare rules have been changed this year, creating mass confusion, causing you to spend more money out of your pocket than you have to. Don't be fooled by deceptive ads from the chain pharmacies promising low copays and simplified testing. But one thing you must remember, there's no company, no matter how large, that can beat the low cost you'll find at Pro Medical East Medical Supply. The home delivery option alone will save you up to $200. Pro Medical East Medical Supply accepts most national and regional insurance plans in Florida, and including, of course, Medicare and Medicaid. And if you're not insured, they'll get your medical supplies at the absolute lowest cost. Make sure you ask about the no-cost option. Call 1-888-200-2797. That's 1-888-200-2797. Tell them Steve sent you.
The Steve Kane Show is live every day from 6 till 9 a.m. on AM 1470 WNN. Call Steve now at 1-877-275-2326. And now, more Steve Kane.
All right, 10 before 7. I'm Brian Craig, back here with you. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, broadcasting from the Adams World Radio Studios here in Coral Springs. Good morning to you again. Yeah, so the out-of-control government with their spending and their regulation, I don't see us with this type of leadership and attitude in this country getting back the way things should be so far as the economic, and which of course includes the employment figures and all of that, back to where they should be. I just don't see it. You know, have you heard this jerk Fareed Zakaria? Is that his name, Zakaria? He's an Indian, dot-on-the-head Indian. He's on CNN, and he has a show on CNN on the weekends. I've seen it once or twice, and I was staying out of town with some family over the Memorial Day weekend, and one of them had a book, Fareed Zakaria's new book called The Post-American World. The Post-American World. Can you imagine the Post-American World? You know, and Fareed Zakaria has this book that's really frankly, to be crude about it, the left-wing wet dream, a world without the dominance of the United States and our way of life. And Fareed Zakaria, he's all over Drudge and things this morning. He gave an interview in the last day or two, and he was talking about how Americans believe that our founding fathers and our Constitution is the best in the world, and that Americans need to get away from that attitude and ask ourselves, why is the rest of the world doing so much better than we are? Fact is, the rest of the world is not. And I was using Fareed Zakaria's book, The Post-American World, as bathroom reading over the weekend, which is the best place to read it. And he's talking about the rise of China and India and some other third world pits of hell, but he gets all excited about the rise of China and India. And their economies are growing at a very fast rate, maybe even faster than ours right now because of what we're going through. And they get all excited on the left. You know, and that's Obama's attitude. Obama wants to see the world equalized and America put in its proper place in the world. We've talked about this a lot on the program. We're too dominant on all fronts, economic, military, even our culture is too dominant around the world. And I'm reading Fareed Zakaria's The Post-American World. They have more than 1 billion screaming Chinamen, and how many are in India now? 1 billion Indians in India. And if last year you had 1,000 people in India, a country with 1 billion, right? If you had 1,000 people making 6 figures a year, and next year you have 2,000, you've had a 100% increase in those earning 6 figures a year. But that's not a sign that India is doing things right, because it's a very impoverished country and will continue to be. You know, the country's economic situation is the result of a number of things. We have the highest corporate tax rate in the world, right? Our tax burden is too high, too many government regulations, too much government spending at every level from local up to the Fed, and the unions. My Lord. Dan Rather's show on HDNet, and I know Dan Rather lost credibility with that AWOL story with Bush, but I've always liked Dan Rather. I know he's lived. He's at CBS all those years. How could he not be? But he did a story, Dan Rather Reports is his show, and mentioned this a little bit a few weeks back. He did a story on the Detroit school system. My Lord. You know, yesterday Barack Obama says a revival of Detroit is going to be something he runs on, I guess, in re-election. It's going to be one of his big issues. I watched this Dan Rather's report, and he's a lib, 2 hours on the Detroit school system, and it's not just a failure. It's not the failure of Detroit. It's the failure of liberalism and liberal policies. You know, Detroit went down the tubes after the public unions who owned the Democrat Party ran the American auto industry out of business. Now, there's a little bit still around, but come on. Come on. Toyota's the number one new car in America every year. Toyota Camry, always number one in its class. Why? Because they build good cars that last a long, long, long time as opposed to American vehicles. You know, and the American auto industry, too big to fail, of course. The failure of the American auto industry was the beginning of the end for Detroit. Everything in Detroit shows you what happens when you have in place liberal city. I mean, look at New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. My Lord, Hurricane Katrina was one of the most disturbing examples of the failure of liberalism I have ever seen in America. Now, unfortunately, in New Orleans, you have a lot of very poor people, this was pre-Katrina, who are living off of some type of government welfare, right? They have the food stamps, the welfare checks, probably the government cheese, and they have rent subsidies. The hurricane came, and I know Ray Nagin said New Orleans is a chocolate city and all that business, and I guess racially it's mostly black. But the reason that the Superdome was filled with blacks is because the white people got out of town. The blacks that stayed behind in New Orleans, now many of them didn't have cars, but the incompetent government didn't bust them out, but these are people that have never had to balance a bank account. Does anyone have a checkbook anymore? You know, so we balance our bank accounts on the internet now. These are the people that went to the Superdome are people that are products of the Democrat Lyndon Johnson Great Society. You have a storm coming, and I remember seeing Ray Nagin on TV. I never heard of Ray Nagin, and I saw his press conference.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.